Welcome, everyone, to Jimmy John's Field in downtown Utica, Michigan. Jeremy Otto alongside Brendan Shabat to bring you the call here today. It's the visiting Eastside Diamond Hoppers and the home Utica Unicorns here today on Star Wars night at the ballpark. And we welcome everybody watching inside the park here today as well on our My Michigan TV pregame show. And this fine little bobblehead is what the first 1,000 received through the gates today.
Darth Lancer is what they get, and we've seen a huge crowd out here get here early, and rightfully so. I mean, look at this little guy. He's got the little bobble going and everything. I mean, it's not every day you get a specialized Darth Vader type bobblehead. This is pretty cool stuff that our marketing department did. Shout out to them.
Well, why don't we have some fun here today? Comment maybe what your favorite Star Wars character is. You can do it on Facebook and YouTube in the chat section. Join in the stadium as well and tell us where you're watching from, what section. We'll read those off throughout the game here today as well. These two teams, kind of in two different directions. The Hoppers looking to trend upwards. The Unicorns kind of scuffling lately.
The Hoppers have won their last two against the Unicorns. They won one last weekend in the public. They won 11-2 this Tuesday in a non-public over these Unicorns. Yeah. It's a team who has, just lost some games recently. And the Unicorns haven't done that all season long. They've lost 3 out of their last 4. We haven't seen that. They lost 2 in a row last weekend. They had not lost 2 games in a row at all season long. And it really just hasn't been bad baseball for them. It's just that they haven't gotten the key hits. And Adrian Guzman kind of talked about that. But for the Hoppers, they're trending the right direction. They haven't quite had the breakthrough game. Maybe that non-public game on Tuesday with a big win like 11-2 is going to be the one for them. But they still need some big at-bats. They still need some clutch hits in the right spots. They still need some certain guys to maybe turn it around and be the leaders in the lineup that we expect them to be. But they're not 11 wins. They're not too far back of second place. It's still going to be a battle to get above 500 with only about 15 games left. The Beavers in second place right now at 5 games above 500. So the Hoppers have a lot of work to do if they want to try to get into second. But the last few games for them have been positive signs. We'll see if they can kind of bust the door open and really shoot up the mountain.
Well, we knew it would come sooner than later, but Noah Marcoux hit a bomb the other day, his first professional home run, a guy that we've known since he got here. Nice, easy stroke, good-looking swing. The coaching staff likes that, and it's fun to see him get his first home run in the non-public as well.
And maybe he's one of those guys that we talk about, becomes a leader in the lineup and can produce those big-time at-bats in clutch situations, maybe draw a walk that leads to a big run scored in the late innings. A guy like that who maybe hasn't produced big numbers all season long, but has been consistent, struggled at the start, kind of found his groove and is developing into a nice pro ball player. Maybe he can be one of those guys who reaches a new level of confidence and ability and helps this lineup in a way that maybe they previously hadn't thought possible. So with that home run, again, positive sign, right direction, see if he can make the step.
Well, very heavy day here in Metro Detroit. We had some severe thunderstorms roll through the area yesterday. They're possible here tonight as well. Hopefully they'll stay away for baseball. But you never really know how the ball is going to fly on a day like this. I think we've seen both ways. Completely dead, or, it does give it an extra boost. What do you think from early on from what we've seen?
Air feels heavy today.
Yeah.
It feels like everybody, we all weigh 10 more pounds than usual, which for some of us is good and for some of us not. But I think we're going to see a deader ball today. Unfortunately for us, batting practice was taken in the cage behind the stadium, not on the field pregame, so we don't really have any idea how the ball is currently flying.
Yeah.
But it just feels like one of those days where it's hard hit off the bat and it's just an easy fly out to one of the outfielders and shallow in the outfield. So that's going to be important for the defenses who can limit the errors. If both of these teams go this entire game without any errors, we're going to have a low-scoring ball game. I don't think there's going to be a lot of base runners, but if guys can get on, maybe work some walks, both of these teams are going to try to steal a base or two probably. There's a few guys in each lineup who can do that. If whoever's the most aggressive on the base paths and can take advantage of the other team's miscues, they're going to be a good spot to win on a day where the ball just probably isn't going to get out of the park.
Well, most likely a bullpen day going forward for the Unicorns here today. Keon Taylor will start, a normal guy that we see, as it gets darker. We've talked about how his ball kind of gets lost in the scoreboard at times. We'll see if that's the case here tonight as it gets maybe a little bit darker than you'd see at the beginning of this year. But a bullpen day because they kind of want to change their fortunes.
Yeah, they want to kind of get into a groove, maybe give their starters a rest before this weekend starts. We're really getting into crunch time now. We've got Thursday through Sunday games this week, and then the next 2 weeks, it's Wednesday through Sunday games. So 5 out of the 7 days, we haven't had that all summer long. 5 out of the 7 days, we've got public games going on right before the playoffs get started. It's a really big week, and this is kind of the kickoff for it, the kickoff of that final third of the season, where teams really settle into their playoff spots and where it's kind of your last chance to make a move. You know, in golf tournaments, they play Thursday through Sunday, and Saturday is what they call moving day. And if you're going to make a move to get into contention, Saturday's got to be the day. This kind of feels like the Saturday of this season. If you're going to make a move to be in a good playoff spot, you got to do it now.
Well, enjoy your bobbleheads if you're watching in the stands, and you know, all you can do is watch this bobble here if you're watching at home, but that's satisfying
You can enjoy
as
it,
well.
yeah.
You caught up with Adrian Guzman, the manager, the co-manager, I should say, the Utica Unicorns. Here's that interview now.
Adrian, thanks for joining us. So let's talk about last weekend before we get into the game tonight against the Hoppers. Kind of an up-and-down weekend for you guys. First ever back-to-back losses on Thursday and Friday, and then you follow it up with an historic performance, the second highest scoring game in USPBL history with 19 runs in the 19-2 win on Sunday. Talk about Thursday, Friday first. You guys have been so dominant all season long, have never lost back-to-back games. What kind of went wrong in the early days of that weekend?
Yeah, I think it was just, it's baseball. It's bound to happen. We didn't play bad baseball. It was pretty much a clean game all around. We just, didn't execute pitches when we needed to, and we didn't just have those key hits throughout the whole game. So, it's baseball. It's bound to happen.
And so it almost seemed like you guys took those back-to-back losses personal when you came out on Sunday with the 19 runs. Was there something said on the day in between, or was there a team meeting, or what was the difference to have that huge explosion on Sunday?
Yeah, I think with this team, this is a special team. So nothing needed to be said. Everyone knew what they had to do coming in, and it was just no one enjoys losing. So it was, hey, let's go. It's time to go.
So you've had a very different role this year from seasons past, a former player here at the USPBL, now being an assistant manager, and you've had your share of building the lineups too on days when Jim Essien isn't able to make it. Talk to me about, how easy or difficult it's been. I mean, you've got this great lineup. Has it been challenging for you to make it, or do you kind of just let the guys, do what they do?
It's a little challenging, coming out of a player standpoint of, trying not to be so much of a friend anymore. It's, hey, I'm trying to put everybody in the best possible position for them to succeed. So, luckily this year, it's, 1 through 9, it's, we could pretty much draw this lineup out of a hat and we could still be a threat. So, it's got its challenges, but, it's also got its perks. And it's, this team has been a real easy transition for me to go from player to coach. So, yeah.
So I want to ask you about one of the lineup decisions for tonight. Starting pitcher Keon Taylor, he's been arguably one of the best pitchers in the league all season long, but as a reliever, the sidearm delivery from the right side, especially at night, hitters have a tough time picking up that ball. What went into the decision to having him start today, his first professional start?
Yeah, I think a lot of it is, it's just tempo. We want to start the game off and have a good tempo, good pace to play, and, we trust Keon, and it's pretty much just going to be, hey, go out there and give us the best 2 innings you got, and we'll piece it all together, and our offense is going to do what they do best, and, try to get a win out of today.
And you guys are playing the Hoppers, who you've seen a lot this season. They've been arguably the most entertaining matchups, you two, all season long. 11-2 on Tuesday, they beat you guys. What do you guys have to do differently today from that non-public loss on Tuesday?
Yeah, again, it wasn't a bad played game. No errors again, clean defense. We just got to execute some pitches, and I think with Keon on the bump, he's going to set the tone, and, we know what we got to do.
That's Adrian Guzman, assistant manager of the Unicorns. Starting lineups coming up after the break.
these business owners find the time for peace of mind? Because they rely on Tryon to handle difficult and time-consuming HR tasks like payroll, benefits administration, and more. Working with Tryon, one of the nation's top professional employer organizations, provides access to top-tier health care and employee benefit plans and its team of attorneys and HR experts. With Tryon, you don't have to grow it alone. Visit RelyOnTryon.com.
You can always rely on Tryon. Come on and keep me satisfied. Go let 'em see what's under the shades.
Welcome back to Jimmy John's Field, everyone. Jeremy Otto alongside Brendan Shabat to bring you the call here today. Alex Pup set to lead it off for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers as that one's shifted foul. First pitch at 7:02 p.m. here today. Into August now, huh?
Yeah, summer went by quick. School starting soon.
This is why they call this literally the dog days of summer, though.
It is a hot day today, yeah. Humid, muggy. Really, like we talked about in the pregame, don't expect the ball to fly too much today. Going to have to be hit pretty hard.
Keon Taylor, as we mentioned earlier, the starting pitcher here today for the Utica Unicorns. Not a guy you normally see in this spot. He leads the league in appearances with 18, but this will be his first start here today. They really like him as one of those back-end pieces, particularly at night because his ball gets kind of lost in the scoreboard at times. Now the 2-1 to Pup, fastball outside.
It'll be interesting for the Hoppers hitters to face the sidearm early in the game, see how quickly. They usually only see this guy probably once through the order. Usually a max of 2 innings for Keon. Don't expect him to go much more than 2 or 3 today. Kind of a bullpen day like you mentioned.
Line drive to left center field. Bolin can't find it over his head, and that takes a large skip off the warning track back towards the pine trees out there. And is it raining? I think it's barely falling right now, but it is raining.
Yeah, I think you're right.
This is just one of those days where anything could pop up. I mean, it's basically raining. You can grab a cloud and feel it in midair. Let's check the rest of this Hoppers starting lineup. You see Blake Porter come up. Yadi Rivera will bat third. It's Burke, Kreitzer, and Marcoux in the middle here today. Schellenbarger, Hughes, and Fedko will round things out. Well, it was not raining before first pitch, I don't believe. It's starting to pick up a little bit. It's still fairly bright. The clouds are definitely over the stadium as Pup makes his way to third here. We've already seen a couple chime in on the YouTube chat what your favorite Star Wars character is. Cash says Mace Windu. Nick Matthews says Captain Rex. You can chime in on the Facebook and YouTube chat. Let us know. 1-0 out in front of the fastball there. fastball, which is a sinker, slider, changeup for Keon Taylor.
So we talked about off-air pregame, a lot of ground balls that Taylor gets because of that sinker, that late sinking action. A lot of hitters swinging over the top. 40+% ground balls.
Now the 1-2 punch foul. The players did not take on-field BP here today because they thought, the league thought that, hey, you know, there's some rain definitely in the area. We're going to take the tarp off, which was on all night, prepare the field, possibly put it back on. They never ended up having to put it back on. They did take BP in the cages out in left field beyond the wall there. Change up outside, 2-2 on Porter. And now look at it. We're going to see a rainbow here sooner than later as the sun is brightly out. It's still coming down maybe a little bit. 2-2 pitch, got it inside, golfed it to right center field. That ball's carrying to the gap. Pup will easily score. Porter to second base. And a bobble out in right center by Galassi will allow him to advance to third, sliding.
Great base running by Blake Porter there to pay attention to Galassi out there in center field and jump immediately after Galassi bobbled it a little bit, stretch it to 3. And we talked about Keon Taylor and his ground ball action. The Hoppers have to take advantage when they do get the ball in the air, and that's what Porter did after Pup got his line drive double.
Yadi Rivera checks in. 235 average, walks to strikeouts even to this point as that one slammed off the leg. Joe Burke on deck, and then Nick Kreitzer. It's a lineup that would love to get a nice early hot start once again here today.
It seems like in this matchup between these two teams, which we've talked about before, has been a fun matchup to watch all season long, very entertaining games. The team with the early lead is usually poised to come away with the win. But there is a lot of back and forth between these two teams.
Now the 0-2, line drive. Boy, the gaps are the spot to hit it here today. Blake Porter will easily cruise home. Rivera on his horse. He'll get to second base. 3 doubles, 2 runs here in the first inning against Keon Taylor.
Well, I'm sure this is not how the Unicorns envisioned Taylor in his first professional start, but the Hoppers are taking advantage of an unusual position for Keon.
Not a guy that has given up many home runs this year, just 1 for Keon Taylor. Not really a lot of extra base hits either. He's never given up a triple. Probably ruled a hit and an error before. This ball flying to right center field. Galassi drifting back. Rivera advances to third after the loud first out. Well, forget what we said about the ball carrying here today. It's the opposite.
Yeah, nice call there, Brendan.
I was with you, though. I mean, I felt it. And we've seen, you know, either directions when it's this hot and muggy. This is probably the muggiest we've seen, at least in the public games this year. That's a good look. The rain is still coming down. Probably feels good, though, at this point, as long as it doesn't start to puddle.
I think it honestly will, yeah. Those cool drops acting like a little mist right now.
Not many fans have moved, probably because of that very fact. There's a sinking line drive foul into the bullpen. Oh, 1 to Kreitzer outside the sinker.
Pretty much only going to see the sinker and slider today out of Keon. Does have a changeup and a 2-seam. Very sparingly uses those.
1-1 slider.
They're tough pitches to hit, both a sinker and a slider, but as a hitter, when you can prepare for essentially just 2 pitches, it allows it to be a lot easier to recognize out of the hand what pitch it is and kind of jump on it.
1-2. Fly ball hanging in the air there. Galassi back. Rivera tagging. Yadi's going to go. Galassi tees one up. It's going to fall right there, but it was a good read by Yadi. He was able to get enough behind it to score run number 3 here in the first.
Well, that's exactly what you want to do if you're Kreitzer with a man on third. Just get the ball in the air in a position where Yadi can score and just keep adding to this early lead. Man on third, less than 2 outs can be a very tough spot for some teams all across every league of baseball. It seems to be a spot where teams struggle to bring that guy home, but the Hoppers have done it 3 times now in this inning.
First pitch to Noah Marcoux is in for strike 1. Does he normally go with the high socks? I feel like he doesn't.
I don't think we've seen those from him yet.
He must have did it the other day, huh?
They look good, though.
Big-time home run. We talked about it at the open of the show here today. A guy that we were just waiting to hit his first, hitting .233 as a double and a home run now in his professional career. 1-1, hit the knee as he will head to first. There's been a couple stretches really in the last month, maybe month and a half, where you could see him progressing and getting better. And I wouldn't put it past him to start, getting in a groove, as we saw with Leaf maybe a couple weeks ago as well. It took him a little time to get comfortable here in the USPBL, but
yeah, other than some guys who have really just been consistent and great all season, we haven't seen anybody go on a real tear, a real month-long, 2.5, 3-week stretch of just really good hitting and really hot numbers. I think Marcoux is probably a candidate to do something like that here in the latter stages of the season.
Chopped foul by Schellenberger. He's already the 7th batter here in the first inning. And boy, is this music to the ears of John Dombrowski and Ryan Kakia, the 2 co-managers here today. For a long time we've talked about, hey, these Hoppers have struggled with guys in scoring position or even to get base runners on. Couldn't get much better through the first 3 batters. Double, double, double. They doubled, literally, the double total of Keon Taylor coming into the game. He now has 6 given up. It swung the bats well. 1-2, chopped fouled on the first base line. Check the defense behind Taylor here today, brought to you by 3-Dimensional Services Group. Bolin is in left, Galassi in center, Castro out in right. Lambert and Sakopoulos on the corners, Hodo and Attilis up the middle with Parkinson behind the plate here today. 1-2, little loopy slider in on the hand. Somehow he golfed that out to short left field. Attilis able to hammer it home. It could have been worse off of Keon Taylor. His first start here today starts a bit sour. 3 doubles in a row, all score. Pup, Porter, Rivera to make this game 3-zip. Now time for your Thrifty Florist sweetheart of the game. Chelsea Cooper is back here today in her Princess Leia garb. Betty Lou is your Thrifty Florist sweetheart of the game here today. So we thank Thrifty Florists for their sponsorship, the USPBL network, and in the ballpark as well. Time for your Freaky Fast Facts, presented by Jimmy John's here today. Here's Betty Lou. Yoda was almost a monkey. Really?
What would you call him?
Why wouldn't he still be Yoda? Why not?
No, I know, but if he's not a monkey, he's not a monkey, what is he, though?
I mean, what are half the characters in
right,
Star Wars?
that's my point. So why was he almost, whatever.
They probably almost can't, I don't know. Look it up.
I'm glad he's not a monkey. I like Yoda, the character that he is.
All right, number 2. There were no physical clone trooper costumes made. They were all computer generated. That's interesting.
There's entire movies that are computer generated
Yeah,
now. The stuff
too
they
much.
do, the stuff they do is crazy.
Too much, in my opinion. Number 3. In an early draft of Star Wars, R2-D2 spoke English.
I don't know how I'd feel about that. I like that idea, but also you can basically tell what he says anyways. You know, now at least the emotion or the sentiment in what he says. Do you speak robot? Do you speak
Go ahead and
R2-D2?
go ahead and give me an example.
Oh, that's not happening.
Here's Andrew Verbrugge. He faces this Unicorns lineup. Drew Galassi, Luis Attilas, Ari Sakopoulos, Noah Childress here today. Leandy Castro, Malik Bolin, Kevin Lambert, Matt Parkinson, and John Hodo is who they send out there. It's not a lineup that you lose sleep about in terms of driving in runs, but these Unicorns just trying to get it going overall here in the second half of the season.
Yeah, that's one thing that, as you may have seen in the pregame interview with Adrian Guzman, that he says it's not easy to make a lineup, but the thing is you can kind of draw a hat in 1 through 9, develop a pretty good lineup with how good his team has been, and not to say that's what he did today, but this is a very different lineup than what we've seen. We haven't seen Attilas bat in the top half of the lineup all season long, but he's been hitting the cover off the ball lately, so he gets to move up. Malik Bolin is usually there in the second spot. He moves down, but he's still hitting just below 300. Matt Parkinson is your catcher and your 8-hole hitter. He's hitting above 300. Noah Childress now in the 4-hole. He's typically been in the 5 with Sakopoulos in the 4. So just a few lineup changes today. Nothing major that's really, I think, going to change the outcome of the game, but just kind of tinkering with maybe a speedier lineup at the top of the order with Galassi and Attilas. Maybe some more base hits instead of power at the top.
Drew Galassi against Andrew Verbrugge. That one golfed into right field, a base hit. Well, that's exactly what they needed here in the first inning after what we saw in inning number 1.
Well, it's significant amount of pressure on the leadoff guy. Obviously, you get to step up with a fresh start, nobody on, nobody out, but you really can kind of feel that pressure to get on base and start a rally, especially after giving up 3 runs in the top half of the inning, and Galassi handles it well, does his job.
First pitch high to Luis Attilas here.
Interested to see how this guy does today in a new spot. Been really impressed with the way he's turned his season around.
That's a big bolster to this lineup as well, huh? Ground ball inside the bag. Rivera can't get it. Around second is Galassi. Bobbled out and left. Here he comes to home. He will score. It's 3-1 Diamond Hoppers all of a sudden.
Man, I wasn't just wrong. I was way wrong. We thought this was going to be low scoring. We said there were going to be ground balls and bloopers, and it's just been hard hit contact left and right for both lineups already. And you talked about the bolster that Attilas brings to this lineup, to go from a guy who was hitting below 200 that you couldn't really lean on in certain spots to he's perhaps one of the best doubles or base hit hitters in the order right now in the last month and a half. In a lineup that already had 8 or 9 guys at any given moment who could probably get a base hit and you wouldn't be surprised.
Ari Sakopoulos looks at a curveball outside. The 1-0. Fly ball to right center field. Look out. That one isn't going to carry like the other ones have. Attilas will remain at second base. Sakopoulos is the first out here in the first.
Good decision by Attilas to hold up on the tag. Obviously, there's probably some aggression going through his mind on the base path, still with the 2-run early deficit. But those are 2 good arms out there in center and in right, and Schellenbarger and Porter. No matter who makes that catch, it was Schellenbarger that time. Those are tough guys to run on.
Here's Noah Childress now, 343 average for Noah, as this fastball tails outside for strike 1. We talked about that, kind of looking metrically at some of the numbers for Verbrugge, how much his ball can move in a good way. Some things that point to that not just, what you see in front of you as well. Fastball outside, 1-1.
Yeah, he gets a lot of guys to swing at pitches in the zone, and so then that makes you question, okay, well, when they swing, are they getting contact? And they're not. They're hitting the ball decently, but not as much as you would expect for how much he throws strikes. And that just goes to show you that he's got a pitches, I should say, that move pretty well and can be deceptive to the eye of the hitter. And they think it's going to be somewhere in the zone, and it's not, and they're swinging and missing.
2-1 finds inside. Boy, balls just find the body of Noah Childress. I was talking to him again before the game here today. He was hit on that same hand that he's been hit 3 times on. First the wrist, or first the thumb, then the kind of the opposite side of the hand on the edge, and now his wrist as of last week, I believe.
And he doesn't stand particularly close into the box. He doesn't have his hands into the strike zone. He has a pretty, at first glance, normal batting stance as far as how close he is to the plate, but he just gets pitched inside so much. I think people are just scared of that barrel. And for good reason. The home run numbers, just 3 on the year, don't really speak to how good of a hitter he is when he puts the barrel on the ball. I mean, he's slugging just below 500. And when the home runs that he's hit have been far and fast.
3-2, breaking ball away. Draws a walk here in the first inning. He's not a guy necessarily either that just stands in there and won't move. I mean, it seems like breaking balls are always coming at his back.
Yeah.
He tries to get out of the way of.
He tends to catch a lot of those mistake pitches that are way wide. There's a really good eye on that curveball, though. That's Verbrugge's put-away pitch, and Childress, a professional hitter in every sense of the term, knows that Verbrugge likes to lean on that pitch. 3-2, that's obviously his most comfortable pitch if that's what he's throwing, and he was able to lay off.
That went off the end of the bat of Leandy Castro. Leandy hitting 5th tonight for Jim Essian's team. The lights are on in the ballpark. We've already seen some raindrops fall. There was a good amount of rain through the first half of the inning. Fly ball to left field. That one going to carry its way foul, though.
Not sure what happened to that baseball off the bat. It looked like it had home run distance and exit velo at first, and it was kind of just a little pop fly into foul territory. This is a guy who you got to be prepared for a hard hit baseball anytime he can catch one.
0-2 off the glove of Hughes. Both Attilis and Childress will advance here. Malik Bolin waiting on deck here. There's a slight breeze blowing out to left center field right now. Any breeze is helpful on a day like this, huh?
Yeah.
Now the 1-2 to Castro. Swing and a miss. Had him waving at the slider or curveball outside. We'll see if it's a curveball into the books here in the booth to our left. For out number 2.
That's kind of the inverse of what we talked about with that Childress at bat in the 3-2 count with 2 strikes. He was able to lay off that curveball that dipped under the zone. Verbrugge that time, maybe just a little bit better movement on it, was able to get Castro to chase at it.
Bolin looks at a ball outside. Kevin Lambert would be next. This is already the 6th batter here in the first for the Unicorns as well. Eastside lodging 3 doubles in a row in the top half. First inning brought to you by Ascension. We thank Ascension for their partnership here with the USPBL network. Now the 1-1. Hung the curveball. Somehow it wickets its way feared on the left field line. Attilas is in. Here comes Childress jogging home. We're leveled at 3 all of a sudden here in the first.
Get it any way you can if you're bowling. Gets 2 RBIs. Was able to pull that hung curve like you mentioned, Jeremy. Jump on it a little bit. Bring in those 2 runs in a clutch spot with 2 outs.
Who would have thunk all these runs would have been scored here early on? I wouldn't have predicted it against these 2 guys necessarily.
Yeah, certainly not I.
For Brugge, in his last outing, 4 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, 1 of them earned. No walks to 5 strikeouts. Now the 1-0 to Lambert. In the hands of fastball at 91, looped foul. For Brugge has been up to 93 here today, which is where he's nearly topped out at this year, 94 on a few pitches here or there. Now the 1-1. There's 92 low. 2-1 on Lambert. This game has just been moving so fast. We haven't had the chance to check defense here behind Verbrugge. Brought to you by 3-Dimensional Services Group. It's Marcoux in left, Porter in center, Schellenbarger in right. Rivera and Burke on the corners. Fedko and Pop up the middle with Hughes behind the plate here today. Now the 2-1. Fly ball to center field. That baby's carrying. Look out, Blake Porter towards the flagpole. Reaches up to make the catch. My goodness, that one nearly whistled its way to the right of the 395 sign. Nonetheless, it's the 3rd out here in the first inning. 1 big hit, a knuckler down the third base line off the bat of Malik Bolin has tied the game at 3.
I'm all in with HR and Organizational Development Council.
I'm all in with Marketing and Business Development Council.
I'm all in with Operations and Member Experience Council.
I'm all in with CEO Council.
I'm all in with Lending Council.
I'm all in with CFO Council.
I'm all in with Technology Council.
Our credit union is all in with CUNA Councils.
They call me Prospects. Since the day I was born as a diver's watch, the challengers of the world have taught me many things. Life is not a numbers game. It's about challenging ourselves. No matter what happens, just follow your heart. These pioneers drive our generation forward, not by setting records, but by never giving up. Keep going forward. Prospects.
Available at Lucido Fine Jewelry.
Jeremy and Brendan back with you here at the ballpark. Time to quickly check our sponsors for today's game. Ascension, Balfour Property Restoration, Budweiser, DTE Energy, Fifth Third Bank, Jarbcom, Jimmy John's, Macomb Community College, McLaren Macomb, McQuaid Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Refrigeration, Metro Detroit Chevy Dealers, Pepsi. We thank all those fine partners for what they do for this league. First pitch to Hughes was fouled off at the plate. Long inning for both of these 2 starting pitchers. Obviously, Keon didn't want to do that, but it's less of an issue for him, who likely only goes 2 innings here today. I think they'd like to see some length out of Verbrugge. They're playing quite a bit, are the Hoppers this week. They played on Tuesday. They played today. They play tomorrow. They also play on Sunday.
Then I think they have a non-public on Tuesday or Wednesday of the next week. Well, I guess the Wednesday games are public next week.
Here's the 0-2 to Hughes. Curveball low, or slider low. 1-2 on Witt.
And that's what we talked about. This is the dog days of the season. As you mentioned, the dog days of the summer earlier. You know, we're getting to crunch time here. Got to make your decisions, make your moves if you're going to do it. Try to fight into a better seeding in the playoffs, maybe. Wow.
Thought that one would be in there for strike 3. Instead, high 2-2 on Hughes.
I was with you, Jeremy.
2-2 in there for strike 3. There's the fastball at 86. His first K here tonight.
Didn't think it would take Keon this long to get his first strikeout. Has gotten so many this year. Been one of the better strikeout pitchers league-wide as far as the strikeout per 9 goes.
Yeah, really looking at his career numbers, whether it be in pro ball, college, he's done a good job of keeping the walks down and keeping the strikeouts up. Hodo, 2 up and 2 down. And sometimes that's easier said than done. It's one thing if you do it at the college level, and sometimes it doesn't even matter what level it is. NAI, D3, D2, D1. Some guys who have good command and control in college don't always carry it over to this level. Obviously, the strike zone is a little different. The hitters are more disciplined.
I think adjusting to the discipline of the hitters is one of the biggest challenges that some of the pitchers in this league face.
Wow, that one just kind of floats up the middle. Enough gusto on it to land in center field. Pup is 2 for 2.
Yeah, some soft contact off the bat of Alex Pup, but
you know what the exit velo was on that? Not to cut you off.
I'm going to guess 58.
62.
Well, that was pretty close. But, yeah, back to our point. I think we've seen some really good pitchers come in from college and maybe just give up too much contact because they don't quite recognize the discipline that a lot of the hitters in the league have, and then that also leads to some more walks when you're pitching around guys, or guys aren't chasing at the pitch that used to be your put-away pitch back in college. It's an adjustment that you have to make. You know, we talked to Tony DeSanti, Mike DeSanti's father, and he said one of the things he was talking to Mike about was that you got to give some respect to some of these hitters. You know, there's some really good hitters in this league, and, you know, it's not like, you know, maybe other days that you've played where you can just blow a fastball by some of these guys. They're going to be ready for it, or they're going to lay off a bad pitch outside of the zone.
Decent lead for Pup over there. Here's the 0-1 right back to Keon. He fields his position very well. We've seen that before. Lally pops it over to first base, and that will be the third out here in the second inning. Much quicker in time, and batters retired the first 2. The short 1-out or 2-out single, and able to get the ground out to end the threat.
Every summer, my family loves to have a neighborhood movie night in our backyard. And with my Chevy Blazer, I can head out and get everything we need for a great night. It has plenty of room for picking up friends, and the available hands-free liftgate is perfect for loading unhandy supplies. You know, it may be movie night, but my Blazer is the main attraction wherever I go.
Lease a 2022 Blazer 2LT for just $239 a month for 24 months. Put it in D and see why Chevy drives the Motor City.
Check your checking. If your account doesn't get you pumped, amped, or geeked, make the switch to Genius Checking from Genesis Credit Union. It's just genius.
Slide into a new home. Work with a local mortgage pro who works for you. Get a cheaper, faster, easier home loan. Find a mortgage broker near you today at findamortgagebroker.com.
Baseball on the USPBL Network is sponsored by Scott's. Let's get to the yard. And UWM, the #1 wholesale lender in the nation. Matt Parkinson will lead it off here in the second inning for the Unicorns. Good look at the side of those jerseys. The stars for Star Wars night. Script Unicorns across the front there. Parkinson 279 in the average column. He's been pretty much over 300 for the majority of this season thus far.
Yeah, maybe just dealing with a little bit of a strikeout bug lately. That's what stands out to me in his last few games that we've seen. Just a little bit more swing and miss than usual. He's not exactly a big walk drawer, but he's drawn a few this season.
1-0 popped him up. Going to be a tough play for Porter. Pup going out as well from his shortstop position. Porter will make the catch. So that's been the key for both of these pitchers thus far here in inning number 2. Retire the leadoff man. In the first for Verbrugge, he saw Galassi and Attilis both reach, a single and a double. Noah Childress walked after the out by Sakopoulos. And a big 2 RBI double, or single I should say, by Malik Bolin tied up this game as the fastball delivered high on Hodo. Talking about guys over 300, he's been right there as well. 333 coming into today's game. 1-0, slider low. 2-0 on Hodo now.
Yeah, he hasn't done it with a lot of power all season, but he's been one of the best on-base guys among the entire league and has scored a lot of runs, too, with the speed he has once he gets on the bases.
Well, excuse me, swing there. Fedko bobbling, and safe is John Hodo.
There's that speed again. Impressive for him to get to first base. Obviously, Fedko had a lot of trouble with that ground ball kind of bounding to his left, but Hodo, I think, he was late to get out of the box. He didn't expect that to be in play. He checked his swing and just got that bat around enough to accidentally put it in play. He had a delayed start jumping out there and was still able to make it.
And I think the speed in general maybe weighing into Fedko. He had to come way in. It almost looked like he was trying to shovel that with his glove.
I think
case of guys doing it before it actually happens. You know, it's inside the glove.
Yeah, looking up before you kind of see that ball into the glove.
Hodo steals on first movement. Wow. Hughes didn't have the best of throws, but boy, did it skip nicely to Pup. In the end, John is safe. He's now 8 for 9 on stolen bases this year.
Yeah, that wasn't the greatest throw from Hughes, but I feel like one of the better ones we've seen. The thing that surprised me was how quickly it got out of his hands. He was up and out of his stance pretty quickly, and before you knew it, the ball was on its way down to second against the speedster Hodo, and it was not that late.
Now the 1-0 to Galassi, fastball inside.
This hitter is big for Verbrugge. If you can retire the leadoff man in their lineup after a miscue from Fedko at second base.
2-0 line drive into right field, the base hit. Hodo's going to test it. He's around third, being waved around right away. Throws up the line, and the Unicorns have their first lead in this one.
That's what they do so well. We've talked about it this season, taking advantage of miscues on the other side. Hodo gets on with the air, reaches second on a steal, and then scores on the next base hit.
There's JJ with the bat. Always presented by Michigan First Credit Union. Luis Attilis. Bats now here in the second. He doubled in the first. Who didn't double, huh? 4 combined for these two teams. Little lazy fly ball to right, hanging up. Schellenbarger sees it fade in for out number 2. So Verbrugge at a minimum would love to keep this inning at 1 run of damage. Now Ari Sakopoulos will come to the plate, fly out to right. back in the first. Boy, the rain has kind of passed. The skies have lightened up a little bit. Those storybook-like clouds in left field right now.
Make you feel like you're on the Truman Show.
Little curveball dipped in for strike one. Well, speaking of stories, one of the greatest storytellers ever in our industry passing away at age 94. You just don't believe it. You know when you see that headline or the tweet that came by. 0-1, line drive to right, a base hit and more. Schellenbarger going into the corner. Galassi flying around third base. He's heading home. He will get there with a throw. And all of a sudden, the Unicorns with a 5-3 lead.
Yeah, you knew right off the bat once that ball landed in foul territory that it was going to be trouble. That's the tough spot, that right field corner. Once it gets deep, lands in fair territory and bounces into foul. It's such a long run for the right fielder, and with Galassi's speed, he's going to score easily, and Sakopoulos can stretch that into 2.
You know, and few announcers, we're obviously talking about Mr. Vin Scully, who passed away just a couple days ago, but a few announcers really carry their way through time. Obviously, there's guys that are here and there, and there's local guys, and there's your national guys. But he's one, you know, especially for us, for guys getting into the industry, when you first hear about baseball broadcasting in general, as Childress looks at a ball outside, everybody says, hey, are you a good storyteller? And then have you listened to Vin Scully?
And that's really what, you know, the epitome of a baseball announcer like Vin was, is someone who could tell stories. You know, there's play-by-play announcers, and then there's guys like him.
Line drive to left. Marcoux won't get it. Gets behind. Ari Sakopoulos comes home, and Noah Childress won't be able to advance past first as Porter got to it quickly. How about these offenses in the first 2 innings of this ball game?
I kind of didn't expect the first inning offense to carry over into the second, and it obviously didn't for the Hoppers, but the Unicorns have just kept this hot lineup even hotter.
First pitch to Leandy Castro, dips in for strike one. Seen a lot of tweets float around about Vin as well. How many broadcaster he's helped over time. Just kind of speaks about the kind of guy he was. 0-1, club down the third base line. Nice play by Rivera. Hops up, not in time. Castro speeding down the line. Childress hangs out on second. And now first and second with 2 outs here.
Boy, that play was good all around from all parties. Castro with a nice hustle out of the box on a hard hit ball to third. Usually it's hard to beat those out because they get to the fielder so quickly. Rivera made a beautiful play and a fantastic throw from about as deep in the hole you can get at third base. And it was bang, bang.
First pitch to Malik Bolin. High fly pop-up here. Burke is under it, and that will be for out number 3. 8 batters came to the plate here in the second inning. It started quietly for the Unicorns. Parkinson, the first batter, was retired, but a couple more come by, 3 to be exact, and the Unicorns now have a 6-3 lead.
Companies are competing for talent like never before. With the complexities of handling tasks like payroll, benefits administration, and other HR functions, it's easy to see how a professional employer organization like Tryon Solutions makes all the difference. Tryon empowers businesses of all sizes to attract and retain talent by offering access to top-tier healthcare and employee benefit plans. With Tryon, you don't have to grow it alone. Visit RelyOnTryon.com.
You can always rely on Tryon.
joined Green Path and instantly felt a support around us.
They developed a plan on paper, and this is how we're going to do it.
The plan that they gave me was something that was sustainable. It was something I could do. It was actually lowering my payments monthly by hundreds of dollars.
Choosing Green Path is a no-brainer.
Keon Taylor will stretch to 3 innings here today, probably because of the fact that he was effective in inning number 2. They were only expecting him to go about 2. Calipetro will get 2 or 3 out of the pen. He might be the first arm used here tonight. We'll see. 3-4-5 up for the Hoppers. Now all of a sudden down 3. They had a 3-0 lead in this game.
Yeah, maybe just a confidence inning for Taylor. See if he can boost it up a little bit after giving up those 3 extra base hits to the first 3 hitters to start today's game.
Now the 0-1 to Rivera. Ooh, another tough slider. It's been a good one working since later in that first inning. It was a tough first inning for Keon. Back-to-back-to-back doubles, literally doubling the amount of doubles he has given up this year. Came in with 3, now has 6. Only 1 home run against him in now 19 appearances. Hodo has been busy here early on. He has the first down. Kind of continuing our conversation about Vin Scully. Nice little patch that the Dodgers have put together. Look it up. It's Vin in all caps with a little microphone and a blue Dodger outline that they will wear for the rest of the year. 67 years calling games in Brooklyn and Los Angeles. How about that? 67 years with one team.
Yeah, that's dedication and just a love for the game, which I think the cool thing about Vin was you could just hear that in his broadcasts and in his storytelling, like we mentioned. You could tell he just had a love for baseball and a love for that team and was able to stick around for that long. Pretty cool stuff. Did you see that clip on Twitter that went around after his passing about no excitement was enough for him? It was back when Puig was playing for the Dodgers, and they had like 3 throwing errors in one play, and it ended up being an inside the park home run or something, and he just had his steady going voice the whole time.
Now the 1-1 to Burke. He hit a ball hard to center field that carried Galassi back. And not happy about strike number 2 call on the slider there. Big part of this industry, and a big part that young broadcasters really focus on, and kind of hammering home the big moment. He obviously called so many big moments in his career on radio and television. That's a rocket to left center field, back towards the scoreboard. That baby's gone! My goodness, Joe Burke!
Perhaps not a guy on the field or in the dugouts who could have used a home run more right now. Burke has really struggled in trying to figure it out lately, and he figured it out there. Saw a lot of confidence, I think, in that at bat, and hopefully an easy guy to root for. Hopefully that kind of boosts his play and his confidence moving forward. This Hoppers team is just more fun when he's hitting the ball like that.
And boy, off the bat, you're like, yeah, that's a double. No, it's carrying all the way and over, nearly hitting the scoreboard. It kind of hit the netting in front just below the Pepsi sign out there, I think.
The thing that stands out to me, 94 off the bat with the exit velocity on that one. Squared it up and just drilled it.
Carry of 358 as well. There's a slight breeze blowing out there, but the humid air seems to have carried balls more than we would have thought here today. 10 runs in the first 3 innings. Now the 2-0. Outside.
Kreitzer obviously wants to hit, but perhaps taking a little benefit from the Joe Burke home run, now getting pitched around a little bit, especially coming from the left side against the righty Taylor.
Sinker high, and Kreitzer does what he's been doing a lot more as this year goes on. Draws another walk. So after the leadoff man was retired, that's Yadi Rivera. The home run by Burke, his 6th this year. Now Noah Marcoux with a chance. He was hit by a pitch on a 1-1 delivery back in the first inning. 1 of 7 to come to the plate for the Hoppers. They scored 3. Were shut out in the second and add another one here in the third. A 3-run first and a 3-run second for the Unicorns thus far. They've been more chip away type of offensive mentality thus far. 4 extra base hits already for this Hoppers team. 0-2 on Marcoux. He's driven in 12 this year. Look out if he gets one in the air.
I think Taylor's probably going to be pitching against that, using that sinker. Yeah, you see that one inside there. He certainly doesn't want Marcoux, who we've talked about, maybe turning things around a little bit. Doesn't want him to get a barrel on the ball, and would absolutely love a double play if this guy gets on. Taylor's really flirting with danger here with just a slim 2-run lead.
1-2 slider, backwards K. Marcoux not happy. That's the 2nd strikeout here today for Keon Taylor.
One word, 3 letters. Wow. That's a tough take from Marcoux in a 2-strike count, but I thought he would get the benefit of the doubt on the pitch that's sinking low and away from the zone. Umpire thought it clipped the bottom corner.
First pitch to Schellenbarger, ripped foul. Third inning brought to you by Chevrolet. We thank Chevrolet for their partnership with the USPBL network. Oh, 1, little lollipop off the plate, I think. Hodo has to go, backfires to first. Got him. That will end the inning. Another big blast by Joe Burke on a line to left center field off the bat at 94 miles an hour. Makes this game a little bit tighter again, 6-4. Still the Unicorns lead. That was your 5th third out of the game, brought to you by Fifth Third Bank here today. Now time for JJ the Water Boy, presented by Michigan First Credit Union. And boy, is that water helpful here today. Can he bring up a few bottles to us as well?
Yeah, JJ usually hangs out up here, but he's never up here with any water for us. Just the umpires. And I don't know what's with that.
And JJ is very subdued when he's up here. He's just kind of taking a break.
He's
you know?
chill.
One of those stars that just tries to get away, and it's like too many people.
Yeah, I think so. I think he, deals with the fame by unwinding up here, and deservedly so. He's a hard worker out there.
Wow, Lance is the lightsaber here. You got to be careful with that, though, huh? Going around the base path.
Does it help you? Does it make you run faster?
Kind of the track baton, maybe?
I don't know. Doesn't look like it.
Well, they did not give Lance the head start here today. He's going to feel gypped. Our kid around the third base bag. There's Jim Essian cheering him on. And he will make his way home as Lancelot, the lightsaber, did not bring the force with him, huh?
I guess not.
Maybe he should have carried his bobblehead around the bases.
Yeah, I just love this Darth Lancer thing. We didn't decide who's taking this one home. There's only one, and there's 2 of us.
I thought we were leaving it up here just to.
You want to do that?
Yeah.
Well, the season has to end eventually. Dan says he should take it. I think that's a good solution.
But he's leaving, I think, earlier than us. So.
Well, then that's.
He's got the
out of the question.
School to go to.
Yeah, Mr. Smart Boy over there.
Andrew Verbrugge will face 7, 8, 9 in the Unicorns lineup in the third inning. Lambert, Parkinson, Hodo, your 3 men due up. Boy, would he love a quick inning as well. Back to back. Well, actually, a was about to say back-to-back 7 batters, but in the first 7 batters, in the second 8 batters came around to play. 3 runs given up in both innings thus far.
Yeah, I don't think Andrew expected to face 15 batters in the first 2 innings. He's been really good lately after what was a slower start to the year for him, and kind of the reason that a lot of players are here. Got some teachings from the people here at the USPBL, worked on some mechanical issues and made some fixes and has really improved. And I think that's bolstered his confidence a fair amount.
Middle of the infield spread out. Outfield is back deep. Here's the 1-1 off the end of the bat. 1-2 on Kevin Lambert. He lined out to Porter. That was a heck of a play. Just, I don't want to say snow-coned it, but almost, I guess, over the right center field wall. Make sure it didn't get out of here near the flagpole. The ball was flying in the first inning, really, for both of these teams. Joe Burke just had that kind of killer swing to make his ball fly. Get out of here on a line. 1-2. Hung the curveball, punched into left for a base hit. The curve hasn't been as effective as we've seen it when it's at its best for Andrew Verbrugge here today.
Yeah, it's just staying a little up in the zone. Has to just change his target and aim a little bit lower. That's the kind of tightrope that you walk with the curveball. Is you want it not necessarily to look like a fastball, but look like a pitch that's going to be in the zone out of the hand and get a hitter to swing over the top of it, and usually a little bit early. But in order to do that, you have to leave it high enough where it looks like that, but that can lead to not getting the right amount of spin, and you leave it too high and it stays up there, and it's an easier pitch to hit. You know, roughly mid-70s, high 70s out of the hand.
Now the 0-1 to Parkinson. Fastball busted him inside. 1-1 on Matt. He popped out to begin the second inning. One of the few outs recorded in that one. Bunch of singles and a double mixed into the equation against Verbrugge in the second. Kind of talked about it, though. This Unicorns team has seemed to chip away a little bit more at these runs. Credit to them, though. They have a 2-run lead still. Man in motion. He's going to swipe this bag. Lambert sees it fly into center. He's going to third. Porter going to throw now. Not in time.
Wow, good base running by Lambert. Wasn't sure if he was going to test the arm of Porter out in center, which is not something you would advise him to do very often, but he got a good jump, and I think the issue for the Hoppers was just miscommunication up the middle between Pup and Fedco as to who was going to cover the bag, and it looked like they either stepped on each other or stepped into each other and then both backed off. And a throw from Hughes is on target. Might have even hit the bag or just before. And when they both back off, nobody's there.
1-2, whiff and a miss. Verbrugge with his second K into the books, first since the first.
Big strikeout after Lambert gets over to third base. Really can't compound the error anymore. If you're Andrew, have to try to get these guys out and leave Lambert stranded.
Here's John Hodo now. He reached back in the second on an error to Fedco. This one off the end of the bat. Kind of a tough play for Fedco. He charged with the glove, and you could tell he was trying to shovel it over to first, all in one motion to get the speedy Hodo, but tried to shovel before he collected it. And in general, that usually leads to an E. Now the 0-1 on Hodo. Curveball that fought inside. Lambert kind of juggling down at third. He had an awkward start, but was able to collect his steps for run number 7 for the Unicorns here tonight.
Well, it's not too often we write 6 different letters around the base paths for a guy, but stolen base to second for Lambert, error to third, and wild pitch home. It's one way to score.
Now the 1-1 from Andrew. Swing and a miss. That fastball with some tail, as we talked about earlier. Boy, that's a fastball with curveball-like spin on it. Registering on analytical box to our left. Pumped back up the middle for a base hit. Now back to the top of the lineup in Drew Glossy as well. He's 2 for 2 today with a pair of singles.
Three at-bats in as many innings for Glossy. You know your lineup's cooking when you're the leadoff man and you get to bat that many times.
Ground ball foul. Ooh, nice snag.
He still got it.
He's got all that stuff in his hands, too.
Yeah, it's a barehanded play. Runner would have been out.
Now 0-1 on Drew Glossy.
It was nice to talk to Guzman before the game today. You and I kind of concocted this idea of adding pregame interviews to the broadcast. We don't get to talk to the managers a whole lot postgame. We do player of the game.
Sure.
And, you know, they're obviously never deserving of that, so we want to talk to him pregame then.
And we'll certainly mix it up. You know, players, coaches.
There's certainly some players who maybe just haven't had that one big performance, but have had a good season all year long and are deserving of some conversations. We'll try to mix them in as well.
Now the 0-1. Fastball low, 1-1 here on Drew Glossy.
Here's a guy who's had his share of airtime. He's had multiple Player of the Game nominations this year.
Quick feet by Verbrugge, but Hodo is back. Bottom of the third inning. Who gets to 15 first might win this game. I mean, I'm serious. Like, look at it.
I mean, yeah, you make a fair point.
Here's a 1-1, clubbed on the ground to Fedko, feeds to second in time, over to first. That's the first time we've seen a double play so far here tonight. Maybe that helps the confidence of this Hoppers pitching staff. 7-4, they trail. Brendan Shabath has play-by-play when we get back on the USPBL Network.
There are many things you can rely on in this world, like a sunny day brightening your mood, your mom baking the world's best apple pie, and never a dull moment in running your business. And when it comes to time-consuming HR tasks, you can rely on Tryon. Tryon can handle payroll and taxes, employee benefits, and more, so you can stay focused on attracting and retaining the best talent. With Tryon, you don't have to grow it alone. Visit RelyOnTryon.com.
You can always rely on Tryon.
We joined Green Path and instantly felt a support around us.
They developed a plan on paper, and this is how we're going to do it.
The plan that they gave me was something that was sustainable. It was something I could do. It was actually lowering my payments monthly by hundreds of dollars.
Choosing Green Path is a no-brainer.
Get great seats, safer, simpler, and smarter with TicketSmarter. Choose great seats from over 125,000 live events, all backed with a TicketSmarter 100% ticket guarantee. Get your tickets smarter at TicketSmarter.com.
Welcome back to the ballpark. A longer day for Keon Taylor is finally done after 3 innings. Gave up 4 runs on 5 hits. Not too many strikeouts or walks, just 2 Ks and 1 free pass for the Hoppers in those 3 innings. So Taylor's first start is done, and we'll see Austin Calopetro on the mound, the right-hander out of Toledo, Ohio, at 23 years old. This will be his 8th appearance this season, a late newcomer to the USPBL. Not even I believe just after the college showcase did Calopetro join these Unicorns. He's been pretty good in the first 7 appearances, one of them a start, the rest in relief like this one. Sub-3 ERA, only 11 innings of work. High strikeouts, but also high walks. 12 Ks, 9 free passes for Austin. He'll have to go against the 8-9-1 hitters in this Hoppers lineup that is trying to fight its way back from a 3-run deficit, and they'd be pretty surprised to hear those words after the way the first inning ended for them, or that top half of the first, I should say. They were up 3-0 after back-to-back-to-back extra base hits. 2 doubles, one of them stretched for maybe a double and an error or a double and going for extras. Pup, Porter, and Rivera all getting on and scoring in the top of the first. They were up 3-0 after that, and now down 7-4. So it'll be Hughes, Fedko, and Pup here in the top of the fourth. Calopetro works the first base side of the rubber. Fielder's all straight up against the righty Hughes. First pitch that's lined into right, and Castro makes a nice sliding grab. Looked like Hughes was going to get on, and instead the leadoff man retired. That brings up the second baseman, Fedko. Grounded out to second his first time up for Austin. It's 3 pitches, 4-seam fastball, changeup, and slider. The fastball has topped out at 92, averages around 88 miles an hour, 89. Christian Fedko, a newcomer to the league, joining the Hoppers last week. First pitch fastball at 91, bottom of the zone, strike 1 for Calopetro. Fedko comes from Yukon. Played 5 seasons as a Husky. Finished up this last year. Didn't play for a few months before joining the USPBL this summer. 126 RBIs in 5 years at UConn. Pretty good numbers for Christian. Behind 0-2 to Calopetro. Fastball, that one under the zone. Best one we've seen yet, 92 miles an hour. Pup waits on deck. He's 2 for 2 today. Top of the order for both of these lineups has been really good in the early innings. Fedko lays off the changeup. 2-2.
It's the second time his hat falls off, too. Did you notice that?
Yeah. Sign of a guy who throws pretty hard, huh?
I guess so. Or just needs a tighter hat. Both.
Is it? I can't tell. That looks like it's fitted. Can't make it tighter, right?
True.
This one's a little pop fly out into right. Castro's busy this inning. He gets back-to-back putouts, one on a line out, one on a fly out, 2 up, 2 down.
Calopetro expected to go 2 or 3 here today. That's a little bit more than he normally would, but I guess he's getting married on Saturday, so congratulations to him. So he won't be available, obviously, for that.
It's a pretty good reason to miss a game, right?
I would guess down in the Ohio area, Toledo, Ohio was where he's from. Learned that from Adrian Guzman before the game, so may just have to interview him next week.
Yeah. Ask him how it went. Now, obviously, the honeymoon has to come after the season, right?
You'd think, yeah.
Unless you want just a 4-day honeymoon before they got to play again, probably. 1-0 to Pup. Double and a run scored in the first inning for Alex. Single and was stranded on the base paths in the second. He looks at a strike.
And I was supposed to honeymoon in Fiji, but COVID took that away.
Where'd you end up honeymooning?
Ohio, combined with Ohio, Tennessee, and Kentucky. All not in that order, but.
Well, nothing against those 3 states, but those are certainly not Fiji.
We did go to the Smoky Mountains, which was nice.
Those are fun. I've been there. That's a good time.
Got a cabin out there. That was cool. Out in Gatlinburg, Tennessee.
Great city. Good golf there. Played golf there.
I have a minor league baseball team not too far away.
Yeah.
Kind of outside of the mountains, but about 45 minutes or so, the Smokies.
3-1 now on Pup. Guy who's walked a fair amount this year, 12 walks to 26 strikeouts. 331 on base for Pup, 250 batting average before today. That's going to go up 2 for 2 right now. Fastball missed it. 5-pitch walk for Calipetro after retiring the first 2.
That's just kind of how this day has gone for these pitchers here today. Retired the first 2, and then a base runner just finds its way on. Only the second walk given up by Unicorns pitching, but see how it ends up in the 4th.
So now here's Porter. First pitch on the ground to Attilis. He'll just go to second for the force out. Hodo is there. So Calipetro fakes his 4, doesn't give up any hits. Retired 3 of them. And it's still 7-4 Unicorns. Unicorns batting in the 4th on the other side of the break.
Companies are competing for talent like never before. With the complexities of handling tasks like payroll, benefits administration, and other HR functions, it's easy to see how a professional employer organization like Tryon Solutions makes all the difference. Tryon empowers businesses of all sizes to attract and retain talent by offering access to top-tier healthcare and employee benefit plans. With Tryon, you don't have to grow it alone. Visit RelyOnTryon.com.
You can always rely on Tryon.
Throughout your life, from big moments to ones well-earned, we're your financial guardian angel. Alliance Catholic Credit Union.
The starter is out for the Unicorns. For the Hoppers, he's still in there. Andrew Verbrugge going out for his 4th inning. He'll have to face Luis Attilis, Ari Sakopoulos, and Noah Childress. That's 2, 3, and 4 in this 4th inning. And what's been a longer outing for Verbrugge through the first 3, he faced 15 total batters in the first 2 innings. Did get out of the 3rd inning with just 4 batters faced with a nice 4-6-3 double play from Galassi to end it. But only 56 pitches, obviously higher than where he would want to be at the start of the 4th, but I was expecting a higher number at first. 89 with the fastball there to Attilis for strike 1. Attilis is 1 for 2. He was one of those guys who was part of our double crew in the first inning. Lines foul to the right. 4 batters between the 2 teams had a double in inning number 1. Attilis was the only Unicorn to reach 2 bases. It was an RBI double as well. Brought Galassi home for the Unicorns' first run. 0-2 pitch bounced in the dirt outside, 1-2.
And the ball was flying very early. We'll see if it continues to do that.
Even count with the fastball. Yeah, we'll see how the temperature change. It's certainly cooled off. It's not as heavy, not as muggy. It just, I mean, we've been wrong already today, so who knows. But it just feels like the ball should fly even more now.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a slight breeze blowing out to right, but nothing more than what we've seen throughout this game so far.
Certainly not your typical windy day at Jimmy John's Field. Payoff pitch is grounded to Pup. Fields it into his gut and makes the throw for out number 1.
One good middle infielder to the next, huh?
Yeah. Seen both of them make a number of dazzling plays. Both have been very good and consistent hitters all season long. Pup has been, I think, every game for the Hoppers. The leadoff man, Attilis, as we mentioned earlier in the broadcast, just today for the first time all season moving up in the order after going on a tear lately the past month. Sakopoulos' first pitch down the line, foul.
So come on, we need some more chiming in on Facebook and YouTube. Who's your favorite Star Wars character?
Well, get it going.
I got to think about it. I haven't really thought about it that much.
We're here in the 4th.
We've been on the air though. It's that's takes some concentration.
True Star Wars fan would know.
Jar Jar Binks. We have a little representation here from the analytics squad.
Dan Mueller, big Star Wars guy. You know, he showed me when you went to the. When you stepped aside between innings, he showed me his tickets. He's a Michigan guy. I've mentioned that I'm a Michigan State guy, so therefore we have much disdain towards each other.
That's why I'm in between you.
Right.
Yes.
The referee. But he's got tickets for the Michigan State football game at the Big House this year. I'll let you guess which row. Swing and a miss for Sakopoulos.
Is this Star Wars related?
No, I was just, this is Dan Mueller related.
Row 1? I don't know.
Row 2.
Okay.
Pretty good seats for that game.
I was thinking row 4. May the 4s be, I don't know.
Oh, I see where you're going with that. Yeah, I guess I didn't set you up very well. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Ouch, fouled off the foot of Ari. And he'll need a second, I think.
Good look at those uniforms here tonight.
Yeah, those are well done. The Hoppers in the blacks again on what was a very hot and sunny day earlier. The 2-2. High, full count now. Verbrugge has only walked 1 today. That was Childress, the man on deck, back in the first. Sakopoulos an RBI double his last time up. Did score in that same inning. Swing and a miss. Nice curveball from Verbrugge for the second out.
Yeah, one of his better ones of the night. We've talked about how kind of the curveball has hung a little bit more than we're used to seeing. That one wiping out, though, right in on the hands. Not easy to do anything with if you're Ari Sakopoulos.
It's the 3rd K for Verbrugge. Now here's Childress. Fouls it back. We talked about the Star Wars jerseys for the Unicorns. You can get one if you want. They're made in collaboration with Disney and Lucasfilms, the creators of Star Wars, and they're available through an online fundraising auction. A portion of the proceeds will benefit Variety, the children's charity of Detroit. Auction opens at 6 p.m. today and closes at noon Eastern time next Saturday, August 13th. Childress looks at the curveball in the dirt outside, now 2-1.
32auctions.com/darkside. The link for that bidding site.
It's a good link, /darkside.
Yeah.
I like that. Outside 3-1.
Once again, 32auctions.com/darkside. Trish Verbrugge says Chewbacca. That's a classic.
That is a classic.
Did you chime in? You up here razzing me.
Yeah, I got to think about it.
Okay.
3-1. Missed it. So Verbrugge For the second time today, walks Childress with 2 outs. He'll head down to first and bring up Castro.
I'm going to go with Yoda. Oh, he thinks it's a cop-out. I like Yoda.
No,
Why
Yoda's a good character.
are you a fan of Baby Yoda?
No, I have not watched The Mandalorian or whichever one he's in.
The character, Baby Yoda, you don't like him?
I haven't seen anything with Baby Yoda. I've seen Baby Yoda, but nothing that he's actually in. I haven't seen the genesis, if you will, of Baby Yoda. I like characters that are funny, and that's why I hate to say it, but I do like Dan Mueller's choice for Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Humorous characters in serious movies, to me, are some of my favorites. Short lead for Childress at first. 1-1 on Castro. Popped him up. Foul ground on the right side. Burke is there, and that's out number 3. Both pitchers face 4 batters. Nothing doing for either squad in the 4th. We'll head to the 5th on the USPBL Network.
As your neighbor who works at Ascension, Michigan, and a cardiologist who's practiced for more than 20 years, I'm going to keep asking, how are you feeling today? Your care can't wait. Getting care sooner can mean catching things before they get worse. At Ascension, Michigan, our ERs and our hospitals and other sites of care are maintaining strict precautions for your safety. Studies have shown that people will get care sooner if they're encouraged by their doctors, family, and friends. Get the care you need at getascensionmichigancare.com.
Get great seats, safer, simpler, and smarter with TicketSmarter. Choose great seats from over 125,000 live events, all backed with a TicketSmarter 100% ticket guarantee. Get your tickets smarter at ticketsmarter.com.
Rivera, Burke, and Kreitzer batting in the 5th for the Hoppers against Austin Calopetro, working on his 2nd inning of relief. And Jeremy Otto, Brendan Shabath bringing you the call on the USPBL Network. And Jeremy, breaking news after that 4th inning. No hits for either side. That's the first inning this game that we've had no hits total, or either team has not had at least 1 hit.
So what did I say? The race to what? 15?
15 runs.
Yeah, I might have to
notch that down.
I
mean, still 11 runs through 4 complete innings is pretty good.
Definitely one of the more higher scoring affairs we've seen early on. I feel like some of the games get out of hand later than earlier.
It seems like we have early runs, but not necessarily a high total. 1 or 2 maybe on each side in the first inning or 2.
So Entertainment Weekly listed off the top 100 Star Wars characters ever.
I know there's 100 plus Star Wars characters, but this is like there's like 20 candidates in this debate, and that's about it.
Who do you think?
Why are
number
there
1?
100? Number 1 is going to be R2-D2. Who is it?
Princess Leia.
Oh, I guess I should have guessed that. That makes sense. First pitch to Rivera is a changeup in the dirt.
Number 2 is Darth Vader / Anakin Skywalker. You can see that. Number 3 is Yoda. Han Solo, number 4.
There's no flavor in this list.
Rey, number 6. That's interesting. That's just for the young people out there.
I think so. What do you got to say about young people?
I don't know. I'm a young person, right? Everybody's young in this industry until you turn like 40, it seems.
Right.
Like. Emperor Palpatine is number 11. See, he's a villain up there.
It's a little high.
You think?
Yeah. I mean, he's a good character. Didn't think people would be very fond of him.
R2-D2 is 12.
That's way too low. He's got to be in the top 5 for sure.
Jabba the Hutt, 14. Well, there you go.
2-1 on Rivera. He's 1 for 2 today. RBI double back in the first. Fastball pounded into the dirt. A little high bounce for Sakopoulos. He'll underhand flip to Calipetro covering. Put out goes 3-1 for the first out to bring up Burke, who had a big fly back in the third. Seen a lot of runs. That's the only one on a home run so far tonight. He's got that wind kind of blowing very similar direction to that first one, which went on a line just left of the scoreboard, 94 miles an hour off the bat. His 6th of the season. First pitch fastball in for a strike.
Talk about impressive home runs. That one ranks right up there this year that we've seen in person at least. And you wonder how far it would have went. I mean, that's in the Clinton River, no doubt. If that keeps going and the scoreboard's not there.
Oh, yeah,
I mean,
sure.
The river kind of juts out a little bit further to the right when you get to the area of the scoreboard, but still.
The 1-1 slider back up the middle. 2-hit day for Burke so far. He's 2 for 3, reaches with just 1 out in the 5th.
Well, you said it before the game. Wow, Joe Burke's hitting 180. Ryan Kotke has said he's just not a 190 hitter. That was last week. He's not. I mean, he's a better hitter than that. He's obviously been frustrated about it, and it's good to see him turn it around here today.
I think that's the good thing to see is a smile on his face. We haven't seen many of those from him lately, and obviously we play and enjoy and broadcast a children's game, but you still want to have fun while you're out there. First pitch to Kreitzer, who walked last time. Sacrifice fly in the first. That walk coming in the 3rd inning. One-0 cut on and missed. Pretty good Thursday crowd at Jimmy John's Field. Hear the stadium buzzing. This one on the ground could be a double play ball. Hodo to Attilis, now to Sakopoulos, and pulled him off the bag a little bit. He's safe. Burke was out at second. So the inning stays alive for the Diamond Hoppers.
Well, watch out. This guy, Noah Marcoux, has been a little bit more quiet here today, but as we've kind of built up, been breaking out of his funk at the early part of his pro career, get one in the air and see where it goes.
Marcoux up to 233 before today, hit by a pitch and a strikeout. First pitch inside. Back-to-back fastballs, low and in, miss. Sakopoulos not holding on Kreitzer at first. Kind of no doubles depth for the infield. Against the lines, 3 straight fastballs, low and in, miss, and it's 3-0 to Noah Marcoux. Seven walks to 14 strikeouts for Noah. Pretty average numbers for both categories. Swings at the 3-0, fouls it back towards the dugout.
Now, Kreitzer is getting a pretty hefty secondary lead with that as well. They're just hoping they end the inning right here and don't have to worry about where he ends up in the end.
3-1 inside, and he walked him. Second walk for Calipetro, and with 2 outs, there's now 2 on for a powerful threat in Bryant Schellenbarger. And Jeremy, I want to go back to Marcoux, just getting to take a look at some of the advanced numbers here. He's top 5 in the league in average exit velocity, and he's 6th in expected batting average. So not only has he kind of turned it around, maybe gotten a little unlucky in his first few appearances.
Hits the ball hard, no doubt.
Top 5 in hard hit percentage.
To be honest, I'm not sure everything that expected batting average encompasses, but I'm sure batting average on balls in play is a big part of that. Guys that hit it on a line usually work out of it if they don't have a higher one. You often see line drive hitters, have some of the higher BABIPs around, no matter what level you play at. Basically just takes into account all the balls put in play. Are they getting caught? Are they falling for hits?
Schellenbarger 0-2, smacked on the ground. Sikopoulos is right there for the third out as he steps on the bag. We'll head to the bottom of the 5th. Same score, 7-4. The Unicorns lead over the Hoppers here on Thursday Night Baseball on the USPBL Network.
Dunham Sports is a proud partner of the USPBL. Big names, low prices, delivering value since 1937.
At Fifth Third Bank, we're working hard to make banking a Fifth Third better, which means we put 166.7% into everything we do.
I think you can only give 110%.
Well, with free checking, fraud protection services, and an automatic savings tool to help you quickly reach your goals, 166.7% is possible.
Oh, wait till my 8th graders hear about this. They're gonna be like, it's not possible. Well, yes it is.
This is banking, a Fifth Third better.
So Andrew Verbrugge will work on a 5th inning. Did a nice job in the 4th. Only facing 4 batters, walked 1, that was Childress, but did get a strikeout, a pop out, and a ground out. So here in the bottom of the 5th, he'll face Bolin, Lambert, and Parkinson.
I'm sure his team appreciating that effort as well, kind of as we talked about before, some of these games piling up for these Hoppers. They played on Tuesday, they played tonight, they play tomorrow, they play on Sunday. And you think, that's not too much for baseball standards, but for this league, it can be. A little bit more on average than what you see, unless you're playing in that doubleheader consistently.
Inside. Just missed Bolin. Thought it might have hit his knee at first.
Yeah, the sound when it kind of crossed the plate, not even after. You could hear the thud when it hit the padding behind the plate, but it almost sounded like it hit him.
There's no way he was able to play it off, right? He wants to step in there and obviously hit the ball. 1-0, now 2-0. Back-to-back fastballs miss for Verbrugge, falling behind to the leadoff man, Bolin. He's 1 for 2 today. A 2-run single in the first inning. Scored Attilis and Childress. 3-0 now. That one fouled on a line behind third base. I think perhaps some of Verbrugge's ability to continue into this 5th, despite the tough start, was his experience. First in innings pitched in the league right now, first in games started. Curveball under the zone, and he walks Bolin.
And we've seen this before from Verbrugge, even mid-inning at times. I remember a start specifically earlier this year, maybe in the first month or two, where he hung a curveball and it was hit a mile. But then the very next pitch, the very next batters, he saw some of his best curveballs that night. And maybe not even in the inning and or the next batter here in this game, but we saw some good ones in the third.
Lambert pops a fastball up into center field. Porter is there, and he'll put the squeeze on it for the first out.
You know, every sports, league, game, whatever, has its mental attributes and things for athletes to focus on. That's why we see so much of these, mental strength coaches and, toughness coaches pop up, even on professional organizations. I mean, you look at the highest levels, they'll have women and men hired for that specific role. Help athletes out, use tactics, which I think makes a lot of sense given how much pressure is on, these men and women in professional sports. But baseball especially, baseball and golf, I feel like stick to the top. Golf, you're all by yourself. So that's right up there in terms of the mental game. But baseball can be right there as well.
Parkinson hits this one out to left. And right there to make the grab is Marcoux, barely having to move. Quick 2 up and 2 down after the leadoff walk to Bolin. I think you bring up a good point, especially about golf. When we talk about the mental aspect of sports, I always think of Tiger Woods, perhaps the most mentally tough athlete of all time. And when you look at the best athletes in any sport, they were all mentally tough, but he's the one that stands out, and his father was the one who really ingrained that into him at a young age when he was learning golf, was that, for everything you do physically and all the physics and stuff that goes into the swing, you have to be mentally tough. And I think that's carried over to a lot of other sports, including baseball. We look at some of the best players of all time.
I mean, it's talked about at length and almost cliche at this point, but yeah, social media. That's made it a lot easier to scroll through and look, oh my goodness, here's what people are saying about me after what I did here tonight.
Runner goes on the 0-1. Bolin sliding head first. That ball is dropped by Fedko, and he's safe. Stolen base with 2 outs puts a runner in scoring position for Hodo.
And even 20, 30 years ago, you couldn't pull up right away the error that was made, the missed shot.
Right.
Whatever it might be.
For some of these guys, they'd have to wait 24 full hours after a mistake before they heard about it in the newspaper or on the radio or whatever.
Now you have guys, not necessarily in this league, but the tablets have become so popular. The video rooms, they go back mid-game, mid-at-bat, and watch what they did. Or, what the guy looks like on the mound before they face him. Maybe he just came in.
Yeah, that's one thing Vaughn Joshua and I talked about earlier this season. He's an old-fashioned style ball player and manager, and he doesn't like the tablet. And there's a lot of guys in baseball, major league and professional in general, who just really don't like that. Going back to the tablet and immediately checking what just happened. 2-2, a nasty curveball from Verbrugge gets the swing and miss on Hodo. And that ends the 5th. Still 7-4. Haven't seen any scoring since the 3rd inning. So now the 6th inning, when we return, Jeremy Otto takes play-by-play on the USPBL Network.
There are many things you can rely on in this world, like a sunny day brightening your mood, your mom baking the world's best apple pie, and never a dull moment in running your business. And when it comes to time-consuming HR tasks, you can rely on Tryon. Tryon can handle payroll and taxes, employee benefits, and more, so you can stay focused on attracting and retaining the best talent. With Tryon, you don't have to grow it alone. Visit RelyOnTryon.com.
You can always rely on Tryon.
What makes Detroit Mercy so unique is the fact that it's in the middle of Detroit, and especially with their service learning programs, you really get a chance to be a part of the community.
Detroit Mercy. Build a boundless future.
Well, and it's time for baseball. It's time for beer. Two Hearted Ale has been named the #1 beer in America for the past 4 years by members of the American Homebrewers Association. Play ball with the best. Two Hearted Ale, the iconic American IPA from Bell's Brewery, Comstock, Michigan. Please drink responsibly. Jeremy Otto alongside Brendan Shabath to bring you the call here tonight. So glad you could tune in. Austin Calipetro is back out there here in the 6th inning. He will face Hughes, Fetco, and Pup. 7-8 or 8-9-1 in this Hoppers lineup. A productive start for Eastside, and we've kind of also seen this a little bit this season for them. We talked about how they've struggled at times to drive in runners in scoring position and just get base runners on in general in games, but even in close games, they ripped out to a hot start in the first, 3 doubles in a row, shutout in the second, and a home run in the third, and have now been shut out back-to-back innings here by this man in the bump. First pitch to Whit Hughes, fastball at 89. It's been anywhere from there to 92 so far here today for Calipetro. (1-0) in for strike one. Yeah, definite cooling of the air.
Makes those fastballs high and inside, or maybe just inside, a little bit scarier as the hitter.
Slider in on the hands. 1-2 on Whit Hughes now. For Calipetro, 3 innings has been his longest thus far. That was back in the 14th of July against the Beavers. This is 8th appearance. 1-2, another nice slider. 1 up and 1 down here in the 6th.
Pretty perfect slider usage and mixing from Calipetro, playing off the fastball.
It's his first K here tonight. The Ks have just not been a popular thing amongst the pitchers thus far. That's one thing that sticks out for Calipetro. He struggled a little bit with the walk-to-strikeout ratio, and the numbers are very early on, and he's only thrown now 13 innings, 13 and a third if you want to get particular. First pitch to Christian Fetco is low. Alex Pup, the top of the lineup, waiting on deck. Little slight breeze blowing out to left center. Outfield at medium depth, the infield back, and shading against the hole up the middle. Here's the 1-0. High.
We got a tally on the hat count today. I think that's 4. Lost.
Oh, geez, I didn't
lost
notice
hat.
that one. It's getting a little more gloomy all of a sudden as well. You can kind of feel like something coming in.
It's been like that all day everywhere.
2-0, fly ball to left. Fetco watches that fly. Banging off the Chevrolet Pavilion. He's got his first professional homer.
Right off the bat, we knew it. First pro homer in style, huh?
A big one for the Diamond Hoppers in this game as well. Putting the game back to a 2-run spread, 7-5. Here comes Alex Pup now. He's reached every time. Double, single, walk. First pitch to Alex, rides high.
How about that, though? It's certainly nothing against Fedco, but just looking at the college numbers and what we've seen through just 2 public games, not quite the guy you would expect to hit a bomb like that, but hey, he really jumped on that one and absolutely turned on it.
(1-0), swing and a miss, fastball tailing away. As you see Pup having trouble hanging on the bat there.
We were talking about the rain earlier, Jeremy. I was driving back from East Lansing today, and there were 10 minutes I was in rain, and then the next 15 I was not, and then the next 20 I was in rain, and then the next 5 I was not, and it was strange. It's just been a weird back and forth all day. I left my house to come here at the ballpark at 3:30, and it's pouring rain right outside my house, and I get half a mile down the street, and it's sunny and not raining anymore.
Isn't it funny to see that? It's kind of cool to watch, in the clouds when you can see rain, but it's not raining where you are too. 2-1, fastball by him. And my phone app says that it's drizzling right now. I don't think it is.
Not that I see.
There is a few higher chances of thunderstorms as we go on in the night. It's really changed back and forth, back and forth. That's kind of what this weather does.
You a fan of thunderstorms while you sleep?
Yeah. I like watching them more so before I sleep.
Me too, yeah.
Now the 2-2 off the end of the bat.
Which is a bummer. I was just talking about this with my roommate. It feels like we haven't had a good thunderstorm this year. Really good lightning with cool clouds and thunderous thunder.
Every once in a while, driving home from the ballpark, I feel like heat lightning.
Yeah, I've seen that too.
You can see that quite a bit in the clouds. Here's the 2-2. Slider hung, and even before that pitch, his hat fell off as well. Maybe he needs a new size.
Yeah, I think that will likely be the case when this game's over. Who knows? Maybe he just likes it the way it is and says, hey, I'll just deal with it. We'll have to ask him.
Hopefully the tux still fits.
Yeah.
Maybe he shed a few pounds here. Here's the 2-2. Change up away, 3-2. I think you can almost hear rain. Not here. Can you hear that? That's not him. That's the mouse clicking, but
I thought that's what you were talking about. I'm not sure.
I mean, there's definitely rain clouds in left field beyond our field, but it's getting darker. 3-2. 91-mile-an-hour fastball off the end of the bat.
It's a good fight from Pup here. Important at bat. Maybe if he gets on a rally starts. There's a good look at the clouds. Wow, look at the difference between right field and left. I think that view makes it almost look a little worse in left than it maybe is here in person. But Pup trying to fight back into this game for the Hoppers. Nice battle with Calipetro here, fouling some off.
It's a big pitch with the top of the order due up and the bases clear. The 3-2, pounded foul again.
Boy, we've seen 4 two-strike foul balls from Pup, and would you believe me, Jeremy, if I said Christian Fetko's home run was the last at bat? It feels like it was a while ago.
I'm with you. 46 pitches now for Calipetro out of the pen. This will be his last inning, you'd think, no matter what. They do have some action warming in the pen down the line.
If history is any trend, it's likely one inning for one pitcher the rest of the way after the 6th for the Unicorns.
Line drive to center. Galassi on his horse. Can't get it. It's by him. Castro has a ways to back him up. Pup has speed. He's going to easily get to third. Wow, not as easy as I thought. Calipetro with a good job to back that up in front of his dugout as well. Otherwise, Pup was coming home most likely.
Yeah, I think Pup is probably coming home. I don't know what that ball hit off the hand of Galassi, but it kind of died right past him. Usually you see that go by and almost back to the warning track. Maybe not quite on a line enough for that, but the Unicorns fortunate that ball didn't go further past Galassi. Would have been even more trouble, but that's why you fight. Pup kept fighting and fighting. We mentioned 4 two-strike foul balls and finally was able to put one in play, and this inning stays alive. Dangerous part of the order with only 1 out.
First pitch to Porter, in for strike one. For ball one, I beg your pardon. Here's a 1-0. Tipped inside, 2-0 now on Blake Porter. Double and an error allowed him to reach third in the first, ground out in the second, and a 6-4 fielder's choice to end the fourth inning. Now the 2-0. Fastball inside, snap throw to third. How about Lambert slapping a tag in the back of Alex Pup, probably a little closer than Pup would have hoped.
That'll make your heart skip a beat if you're the runner on third. Parkinson kind of out of nowhere. I didn't expect that. I'm sure Pup didn't.
Now Adrian Guzman will take a visit here. Lambert on third, Attilas on short, Hodo on second, Sakopoulos on first, with Parkinson behind the plate here today, completing your battery. Brian Camacho, been a fun guy to watch out of the pen, throwing 95 for these Unicorns.
Yeah, he's been one of the best arms velocity-wise league-wide.
Now the 3-0 to Porter. Fastball pumped in for strike one. Yadi Rivera on deck. Just one out in the inning. Could get back to a one-run game if they can cash in Pup at third. The Hoppers had a 3-0 lead to begin this game. Haven't had one since. The 3-1 low and in.
I think after getting ahead in the count there, Porter's taking all the way on both the 3-0 and the 3-1. Force Calopetro to throw you a strike. I think that's his last batter.
Maybe results and pitch count combined. 52 pitches, a home run, a triple, and a walk in his last three at-bats. He'll have a new arm in to face Yadi Rivera. The power threat's coming up in this lineup for the Hoppers. Can they tie this game or take a lead? We'll find out when we get back with one out here in the sixth.
Slide into a new home. Work with a local mortgage pro who works for you. Get a cheaper, faster, easier home loan. Find a mortgage broker near you today at findamortgagebroker.com.
Why are all these business owners smiling? Because they rely on Tryon to handle difficult and time-consuming HR tasks like payroll, benefits administration, and more. Working with one of the nation's top professional employer organizations provides access to top-tier healthcare and employee benefit plans and Tryon's team of attorneys and HR experts. With Tryon, you don't have to grow it alone. Visit RelyOnTryon.com.
You can always rely on Tryon.
Here's Ray Rodriguez. making his debut on the mound here today for the Utica Unicorns, the right-handed arm out of Weber International. Features a 2-seam and a 4-seam fastball, curveball, changeup. Did throw a slider back in college, but that was messing with his arm a little bit, so he decided to ditch that. He's been kind of talking to Jim Essien for a while to come over to the USPBL. Decided to take one more year of school.
Yeah, the college whisperer finally got one of his pitchers here.
How many times have we heard that? Oh, yeah, Jim's been on me for 2 years.
Yep. Some guys who aren't even with the Unicorns. Some guys who get here and we don't have space for you on the Unicorns. Maybe we'll get you on another team.
Popped him up in the heart of the infield here. Lambert is under it. Ooh, barely. Sees that one drop into his glove. It's a huge out number 2, however, here in the 6th.
We were talking about that sky before the break.
Yeah, take a look.
And
man.
I think you're right, Jeremy. It looks pinkish, grayish, whatever, because of the sunset. But we were kind of talking. Obviously, it's Star Wars night. I feel like this is out of a Star Wars movie. the way that looks right now. Not raining though, so that's the good thing.
I bet it's raining over there.
Oh, for sure. Surprised we haven't seen a lightning bolt or a spaceship fly through the clouds yet.
Joe Burke hit it a mile his first time up. Slightly impacted because of that screen in front of the scoreboard. Now the 1-0. In between swings, you can tell how flustered he was because of it. Actually, that home run was in the 3rd. His middle at bat did have a single in the 5th. Just pumped up the middle. It's been a friendly spot for, seems like anybody who's hit it so far today, mostly landing for base hits. 1-1, slider away, or curveball away, I should say. 6th inning here today, brought to you by Jarbcom. We thank Jarbcom for their sponsorship of the USPBL network. Nick Kreitzer on deck. He's reached twice, driven in a run on a sac fly as well. Now the 1-2. Curveball. Burke hopped on and flustered it back there. So you can tell the curveball has maybe a little bit of a slider-like hinge to it.
As opposed to a guy who's got the very distinct 2 different curveball and sliders, it's kind of like a cousin of the slider, his, because he had the slider first and had to change it. He's still going to have the little remnants of that movement.
Fly ball to left center field. That's chasing Galassi back to about the same spots. Able to make that catch out there. I think he kept it in with his bare hand as well. Boy, you thought that Joe Burke might have had his 2nd home run here today. Rodriguez with a big sigh of relief as he ends his first couple batters with no hits on the board thanks to Drew Galassi.
Every summer, my family loves to have a neighborhood movie night in our backyard. And with my Chevy Blazer, I can head out and get everything we need for a great night. It has plenty of room for picking up friends, and the available hands-free liftgate is perfect for loading unhandy supplies. It may be movie night, but my Blazer is the main attraction wherever I go.
Lease a 2022 Blazer 2LT for just $239 a month for 24 months. Put it in D and see why Chevy drives the Motor City.
Make your move with a quick and easy mortgage from Genesis Credit Union. We have mortgages to fit your life. Genesis Credit Union. Visit us today.
Look at a young fan here today, taking advantage of the balloon twisters. Brought to you by Fairy Tale Entertainments here at the ballpark. It's a lightsaber, yeah?
I think so.
Yeah. Here's Donovan Thacker, who takes over on the mound for Andrew Verbrugge, who kind of gutted out 5 innings here today. Credit to him for it. Definitely wasn't his sharpest through the first 2 innings of work. He saw 7 batters in the first, 8 in the second, and 6 total runs to come across. They just kind of chipped away. Not a lot of flair in that. We saw 1 more run come around in the third, and then 2 scoreless innings in a row to end the outing, the 4th and the 5th.
Yeah, he really recovered nicely after those first 2 innings. Just 1 run given up after that. We talked about the professionalism that he shows and how his experience may be benefiting him and getting out of a tough situation that he found himself in after 2 innings.
Drew Galassi will lead things off. He had a little strut after that catch out in center field.
And rightfully so. That's a nice play.
Robbed at least a double away from Joe Burke. Another fly ball that had some eyes on it. Fastball low to Drew Galassi, 1-0. He's got a pair of singles, 2 runs scored, an RBI, and also hit into a 4-6-3 double play back in the third. 1-0, fastball low, 2-0 on the center fielder here tonight for the Unicorns.
It's been pretty busy out there in center. Those doubles in the first inning. Made a few fly ball catches, obviously the last one from Burke.
Definitely one of the better outfielders that can go back on balls as well. Cut them off in the gaps really efficiently.
He seems to always take a good line. He does have that one little misplay today where he dove forward for that ball that got past him on the pup triple coming last inning, but he seems to always take an efficient route. Quick path to the ball, very efficiently able to get over there.
Now the 2-2. Pounded foul. A little bit more action in the Unicorns' pen, but you did think that Rodriguez would get at least a couple more batters. He retired Rivera and Burke after coming in for Calipetro. Now the 2-2 again, off the end of the glove of Hughes, and Galassi will, well, he could have even thought about second. That one in the divot.
Plenty
here
of
at
room.
Jimmy John's Field.
Plenty of room back there.
Probably the toughest part of the backstop if the ball gets away. So the first strikeout for Donovan Thacker. The Mammoth product is now over to this Diamond Hoppers team. They needed an extra pitcher, so they decided to move him over here. The Mammoths had kind of tapped out on roster size as well, so they needed to make a move either way. Fastball in on the hands, lifted foul.
Yeah, they had a few guys on the IR. Thacker, one of them, with an oblique injury earlier in the year, who came back and had to shuffle the roster around a little bit.
Yeah, bummer to get the lineup card here today and see that Carson Ferry was also placed on the injured reserve. Dealing with the groin once again that bothered them earlier this year as well. 0-1 runner moving, swings and misses into center field. Galassi couldn't pop up right away though, so he'll stay at second.
Perhaps one of the best throws down to second base that we've seen all season. Hughes put it on target and on time, and Fedko just couldn't come up with the grab. Maybe a foot or two short of the bag as far as the target goes, but a nice throw. I think Galassi's out if Fedko snags that ball. Just a tough play.
Now the 0-2. Ooh, a little excuse me swing there from Attila's back-to-back Ks here for Thacker. Stuff looks good so far here tonight.
Yeah, a guy who really hasn't gotten his footing yet. We talked about the shuffling of the roster for the Mammoths, and he was part of a pitching staff that was the biggest pitching staff, you know, bodies-wise among the league, and they had to get a bunch of different guys in and different starters and relievers, and should be in a more consistent role with the Hoppers. You know, he only had 9 appearances. He's been here all season long, and you add in the injury, it takes away some opportunities, but only 9 appearances up to this point. It's a number he certainly wants to be higher.
One to Sakopoulos swung through the 89-mile-an-hour fastball. Galossi on second. The Unicorns already up 7-5, and with the impending weather maybe coming in, this could be an important insurance run. Now the 1-1. Slider away. 2-1 on Ari Sakopoulos.
Yeah, Jeremy, well, either someone just took a picture of us or that impending weather is ever so quickly even more impending.
I don't think anybody took a picture of us.
Why not? That'd be a good picture.
Maybe Dandor left. Here's the 2-1. High. Dan's always got people asking for his autograph before the game.
Right.
But he's got the flight scope in his way, so he can kind of hide behind it.
Yeah. I'm sure it was him that took the picture of us, because he's going to want to cherish this one summer that he had to spend for the rest of his life.
Yes, yes.
Just heeding to our every request with stats and numbers.
3-1, popped foul. 3-2 here on Ari Sakopoulos. Did he break that bat, or is he just flustered here? Looks like he's just flustered.
Perhaps thought he should have been a little bit earlier on that pitch. Always likes the fastball. That one's at 90, right in his wheelhouse. Maybe upset he was late on it.
They shift him to the right. Here's the 3-2. Fastball outside. Boy, some tough sledding here for Thacker. That was a close pitch. He's already had a drop third strike, which stands on second base, and he loses a tight battle with one of the best hitters, if not the best hitters in this league. Here's another good one, Noah Childress.
Yeah, this is the crucial inning, the one you'll look back at, whether in the box score, in the highlights tonight, as perhaps the game changer. It kind of feels like a run comes across, and the Unicorns might be able to put this game on ice. If Thacker can get out of this jam, that might spark some offense into that lineup, who already put up a run in the top half of this inning.
First pitch to Childress, fly ball right field. Schellenbarger chasing it back. Boy, he started back and now has to spiral in. That ball kind of died. I thought that would carry more to right field. Good heads-up base running by Galossi and Sakopoulos. They both advance. Now with 2 outs here in the 6th.
Yeah, I thought Schellenbarger was in the right position, and he probably thought like you that it was going to carry more. And it's just, I mean, no surprise with that hitter at the plate, Noah Childress, the home run power that he has, that we're all expecting it to be pretty close to the wall off the bat. But Schellenbarger made a nice play on it. Really good base running by both Sakopoulos and Galossi.
Here's Leandy Castro now. He had a single back in the 2nd, struck out and popped out in his other 2 ABs. First pitch from Thacker. Slider away. He's been heavy slider We're only the last 2 to 3 hitters here in the 6th innings. One on the ground through the 5-hole of Rivera. Galossi's around to score. Here comes Sakopoulos, and just like that, the Unicorns have a 4-run lead once again.
Ball in play is your friend. Landy Castro hits it right to Rivera, and just unlucky for Rivera, scoots right under the glove and allows 2 to come around to score. Castro with 2 outs. That's, especially guys in scoring position, the minimum you want to do, make the defense make a play.
Here's Malik Bolin now, single and a couple runs scored back in the 1st. Had a walk in the 5th. 6th inning brought to you by Valpak. We thank Valpak for their sponsorship here on the USPBL network. First pitch to the left fielder, slider popped him up. This one going to barely reach the outfield. Pup from his shortstop position going back, and he will collect out number 3. 9-5 Unicorns. Lightning strikes again here in the 6th inning. Back with more after this on the USPBL network.
Every summer, my family loves to have a neighborhood movie night in our backyard. And with my Chevy Blazer, I can head out and get everything we need for a great night. It has plenty of room for picking up friends, and the available hands-free liftgate is perfect for loading unhandy supplies. You know, it may be movie night, but my Blazer is the main attraction wherever I go.
Lease a 2022 Blazer 2LT for just $239 a month for 24 months. Put it in D and see why Chevy drives the Motor City.
We build roads, bridges, wind farms, and pipelines, schools to skyscrapers. Our members create monuments. We operate. We're the operators and mechanics behind the advanced heavy machines that move Michigan forward. We maintain boilers and HVAC. Our members run the complex heating and cooling systems that we all depend on. Our training is second to none, and safety is our priority. We are Operating Engineers 324, and we keep Michigan running.
Great seats at a great price. Get them safer, simpler, and smarter with Ticket Smarter. A proud partner to the biggest names in live sports and events, including ESPN events and iHeartRadio. TicketSmarter has seats for over 125,000 live events and 48 million tickets for sale. All backed with the TicketSmarter 100% ticket guarantee. Thinking about your next great live event? Think smarter. Think TicketSmarter. Get your tickets your way, guaranteed, at TicketSmarter.com.
Welcome back, everyone. Jimmy John's Field. Even Lancelot rocking that one-time uniform here today. Once again, you can bid on those uniforms by racing to 32auctions.com/darkside. Again, that's 32auctions.com/darkside. A portion of the proceeds will benefit Variety, the children's charity of Detroit. Auction opened earlier today at 6 and closes at noon Eastern Time on Saturday, August 13th. Variety is a children's charity providing essential services and support to children with unique and special needs. Their programs include everything from help with food, clothing, and medical equipment to recreational and educational experiences as well. All of a sudden, the Hoppers down 9-5 here in the top of the 7th. Nick Kreitzer, Noah Marcoux, Bryant Schellenbarger, your scheduled 3. This is an important inning all of a sudden for these Hoppers. Three 3-0 on Kreitzer now. Outfield at pretty deep depth. We've seen some balls carry here today. Fastball high. 4-pitch walk for Nick Kreitzer. His second walk here today. And now Noah Marcoux will come back to the plate here in the 7th. So Rodriguez getting his second inning, first full inning of work in his professional career now. Marcoux trying to hold up. He could not there. Ray spent 4 years at Weber International, 2019 to 2022. This year was used nearly exclusively out of the pen. That was kind of his role all throughout college. He'd like to kind of build himself up as a starter, maybe add a fifth pitch to his mix as well. That's not a number that's very common in the USPBL in terms of the number of pitches that guys throw. He'd like to add a cutter going forward. 0-2.
Yeah, there's only a few guys with 5 pitches, and the guys that do have 5 don't typically use all 5 quite that much. It's usually 3 main pitches league-wide.
2-2 on Marcoux now.
Yeah, he said he wanted to add the cutter. That's a hot pitch in the major leagues right now. Some of the best guys with nasty cutters. You think about a guy like Shohei Ohtani's got a good one.
Pumped into right field, the base hit. Don't count out these unicorns quite yet here in the 7th. Bryant Schellenbarger, a guy who's over here today, could change it with one swing of the bat. Kreitzer started the inning with a walk. He stands at second. Marcoux on first. One swing could make it a one-run ball game once again. First pitch, swing and a miss. First pitch changeup there from Rodriguez.
Well, I think Schellenbarger had just that idea. Try to change this game with one swing. That was a big cut there. Got to be patient. Wait for your pitch.
0-1. Another changeup. Popped him up. Lambert and Attilis. It's Attilis who snares it for out number 1 here in the 7th.
I think that probably was his pitch. Changeup hung up in the zone a little bit longer than Rodriguez probably would have liked. Was able to get Schellenbarger to go under it, though.
Here's Whit Hughes now. Fastball inside for strike 1. Hughes and Fedko at the bottom. Fedko has already hit his first professional home run here today. 0-1, fastball in and out of the glove that time.
Hughes, a bottom of the order bat for the Hoppers all season, who's been pretty good of late. Still working on the plate discipline. Many more strikeouts than walks, but he's starting to hit the ball.
Do you believe in the smell of rain? Did we already talked about this?
I want that as my air freshener, my Febreze, my cologne. Wow. That and fresh cut grass.
Okay. I'm allergic to that. 0-2 off the plate outside, 1-2. I kind of smell it right now, to be honest, but I don't know. The rain seems to be staying away.
It's the Utica bubble.
Now the 1-2 on Hughes. Swing and a miss. Curveball that hung around a little bit, but Hughes will be the second out here in the inning.
I think Parkinson might have thought it was the third out.
Well, I think he was about to throw it around, but then he realized that that was the first strikeout for Rodriguez in his career. So I think that's what that was, potentially. Christian Fedko in another big spot. Had a big-time home run. He'll remember the first one he hit in his pro career off the Chevrolet Pavilion in left.
we all will.
First pitch to Fedko off the plate outside. Velocity lowering a bit here from Rodriguez as his outing goes on.
They should have guys sign the pavilion if they hit it.
That'd be cool.
Go up there and sign the big Chevy logo.
Or even the tent. You could get the little gray Sharpie out there.
Maybe on the poles in the tent, the white ones.
Yeah. Yeah, Fenway Park has all the newcomers that playing at the field go and sign the inside of the Green Monster. That can be your little tradition there. Look at you.
I'm just a bucket full of good ideas.
2-0, nearly hit him, stood him up straight nonetheless. 3-0 on Fedko. Kreitzer walked that same way to begin the inning. He still stands on second on 4 pitches. Marcoux singled, but 2 outs in a row. Pop out and a strikeout since. Now the 3-0. Found the zone for strike 1. Nonetheless, high spin is something that sticks out so far from this outing from Rodriguez. First time we've seen him on a mound, just arrived not too long ago to Michigan from Florida. 3-1, fly ball left field. Bolin started in, has to go back. He's not going to get it. Kreitzer's around to score. Marcoux is going to be held up, and it's a stand-up double for Christian Fedko.
Well, not too many at-bats for Fedko, obviously, professionally yet, just joining the Hoppers last week. So he's down there in the 9-hole, perhaps going to move up, and maybe in their lineups coming up, maybe the way he's hitting the ball today. Already has a fly out to the outfield, obviously the home run, and now a double. Hit on a line out there to the left field wall. Maybe a misplay by Bolin at first, but I will say he did a nice job kind of redeeming himself immediately as that ball bounced off the wall. He made a quick barehanded grab to get it in quickly. I think there was a chance for Marcoux to score.
Here's Alex Pup, the top of the order. Shortstop once again here today. He's a home run away from a cycle quietly. First pitch in for strike 1. I believe they ruled his last hit a triple. It was one of those balls where it was Bolin in left, right? That dove, couldn't get it, went by him. Or maybe Galassi in center, actually.
It's Galassi.
0-1 curveball nearly hits the head. 1-1 on Pup.
Haven't seen that this year in the USPBL, a cycle. Obviously just don't see it a lot in baseball. It'd be cool to see one.
Yeah, we've talked about it kind of in length in the past, how hard it is to even hit a triple here.
Right. I think that's the big unicorn, no pun intended, in the cycle that you got to get out of the way if you're trying to go for it.
1-1 fly ball to right center, hanging up there enough for Galassi. And Pup will strand 2 runners here in the 7th. Another run does come around to score. The leadoff walk by Nick Kreitzer, cashed in by the double by Christian Fedko. He's having a nice day. It's 9-6 Unicorns.
Why are all these business owners smiling? Because they rely on Tryon to handle difficult and time-consuming HR tasks like payroll, benefits administration, and more. Working with one of the nation's top professional employer organizations provides access to top-tier healthcare and employee benefit plans and Tryon's team of attorneys and HR experts. With Tryon, you don't have to grow it alone. Visit RelyOnTryon.com.
You can always rely on Tryon.
One thing that makes Detroit Mercy unique and different from other universities is that the faculty truly care about you and they're always there to help. Whether it's asking questions after class or going into the office hours, they're always there to lend a hand and really make you feel at home.
People are here to work together, and whether like you have a question or you're discussing topics within the class, you can go up to your professor and they know your name. They're just willing to help you become a better overall student.
Detroit Mercy. Build a boundless future.
Luke Drummond takes over on the mound here in the 7th inning for the Hoppers as that one pounded into left by Kevin Lambert. Man on to begin the 7th for the Unicorns, the last thing that these Hoppers wanted to see here today.
Yeah, they're just trying to claw their way back, but the Unicorns obviously are not going to make it easy. That's just their nature. A lineup that doesn't quit. No matter where the game is, they're going to keep hitting the ball, keep being aggressive on the paths.
Fly ball to right off the bat of Parkinson. Schellenbarger will catch out number 1.
Boy, I thought Matt had his first of the year.
Boy, we've seen a lot of line drives here today as well,
Some
haven't we?
Good-looking ones, too, that just exit velocity or not, just look like they have the trajectory and distance to leave the playing field.
First pitch to Hodo off the plate outside. So Drummond takes over for Thacker, who took over for Verbrugge. Thacker went just 1. Now the 1-0 to Hodo, slapped into the glove of Joe Burke, and he's like, I gotcha! Kevin Lambert over at first. It's one of the quicker double plays you'll see. They did their job to hold them. This might be the last half inning with the time limit looming. We'll see when we get back on the USPBL network.
As your neighbor who works at Ascension, Michigan, and a cardiologist who's practiced for more than 20 years, I'm going to keep asking, how are you feeling today? Your care can't wait. Getting care sooner can mean catching things before they get worse. At Ascension, Michigan, our ERs and our hospitals and other sites of care are maintaining strict precautions for your safety. Studies have shown that people will get care sooner if they're encouraged by their doctors, family, and friends. Get the care you need at getascensionmichigancare.com.
First State Bank is a locally owned and operated business. We're part of your community. At fsbcares.com, you'll find ways that we're making a difference by featuring locally owned and operated businesses, providing access to helpful financial resources, and engaging with community. FSBcares.com is part of our commitment to the neighborhood because strong neighbors mean stronger communities.
Where good neighbors do great things.
Member FDIC and Equal Housing Lender.
Moutinaire takes over on the mound here in inning number 8 for the Unicorns. A little Star Wars trivia happening on the board here right now in between innings. So they won, huh?
They got 2 out of 3, I think, so it's a T-shirt.
There you go.
3 out of 3, you got to be in the next Star Wars movie, so they were just short.
Is there going to be another Star Wars movie? Probably, right? I mean, they got all these shows, right?
You make all that money, yeah.
So you have not watched any of those shows yet?
No, I haven't. I've heard really good things, but I think I'd have to be more into the movies to enjoy the shows. I've got enough shows to watch. I'm kind of a snob when it comes to my television, both movies and shows. So it takes a lot to get me to watch something per recommendation.
Your time is very valuable. Yeah.
Well, I never said that. I waste a whole lot of my own time, but
this is the 15th appearance for Mountaineer this year. He's thrown 34 1/3 innings, 13 walks to 39 Ks. He's found himself starting games here or there as well. 6 of his 14 appearances have been starts. Sometimes on a Sunday and or first game of the doubleheader. First pitch slider is by Blake Porter. 2-3-4 up for the Hoppers. They got to do it now. Whiffed at that one and missed. Oh-2, shot to right. Good start here in the 8th. We thought we might see something very productive in the 7th. They did score 1. It was the leadoff batter, Nick Kreitzer, who came around off the RBI double by Christian Fedko. But in the end, a line out to center stranded a couple more. So we sit at a 9-6 advantage right now for the Unicorns.
And with that, the Hoppers now out hitting the Corns 11-10, and kind of like you alluded to, Jeremy, it just hasn't quite panned out for them as far as bringing guys home. Something they've struggled with a decent amount this season.
Runner moving. They won't even look to throw down to second base as he is now in scoring position here.
You take a look at it. 8 men left on base for the Unicorns up until this point, and with those 11 hits, the Hoppers have still left 10 guys stranded on the base paths. Those are numbers you want in opposite directions.
Swung through the fastball. Did Yadi Rivera. He had one of the 3 doubles all in a row back in the first off of Keon Taylor. Has yet to have a hit since. 1-1 slider outside. 2-1 on Yadi now. The flagpole is limp despite some of the weather that is moving in behind us. Or in front of us, I guess you could say. That's kind of the way it's stayed. We saw some rain early on, kind of out of nowhere compared to what the clouds have looked like lately. You'd think we'd have seen rain in the last hour or two. That just hasn't happened. Just shortly after the first pitch, there was some light rain falling consistently for about a half inning, went away, and haven't seen anything more than a drizzle since. Lefty on lefty here, the 2-2. Swing, did he go? No, says the appeal. And the replay looks like he did hold up. Joe Burke on deck. He's hit the ball extremely hard here today. Nearly 2 home runs. Here's the 3-2. Low and in, and now you bring that guy up as a potential tying run with no outs in the 8th.
Boy, we talk about that first home run for Burke boosting his confidence. What do you think one here would do? Not even that, just a base knock here would go a long way for him and his whole team.
Line drives pretty much all across the board. His single that he hit in the 5th was the least of the 4 balls that he's tagged in terms of how hard it was hit, but he found the right greenery. First pitch to Burke here, fastball in for strike 1. We'll see how many more fastballs Mountaineer gives him here in this at-bat. I wouldn't think much, because that's kind of the MO against Burke. The 0-1, slider, chopped foul. Has him down 0-2.
Start off with the fastball, throw the slider that looks the same, and then all of a sudden it just drops down. get him to hit it on the ground. Luckily for Burke, was early enough on it to keep it out of play. Probably a double play ball.
0-2, broke his bat. Hodo feeds to first. Both runners will advance. Probably doesn't like that the bat's broken now with the amount of damage he's done with it today.
Yeah.
Here's Nick Kreitzer now. He's seen the ball really well. Not a lot to speak of in terms of hard hits, but a couple walks, a sacrifice fly. Sacrifice fly drove in the third run back in the first inning. It's confirmed that this is the last half inning unless the Hoppers can come back. Now the 0-1. Fastball low at 88. Tomorrow, of course, another Fireworks Friday. Saturday's 90s night here at the ballpark. Another doubleheader. That one in for strike 2 on Kreitzer. It's also martial arts night. On the field performances with local martial arts students.
Yeah, someone told me it's you versus me for the 7th inning stretch.
2-2 on Kreitzer. What are we doing exactly?
Martial arts.
Okay. Right on the pitcher's mound.
Yeah.
Yep.
They're going to bring out the old boxing rings around it.
2-2 in the dirt. Kreitzer going to try to run it out. Not going to get there, though. And after the leadoff single and walk combined, the next two retired on a ground out and a strikeout. They're down to their last out with Noah Marcoux. One swing of the bat by this guy could change this game, though. Maybe we should get in one of those, I don't know what they call them, the little bubbles. You know what I'm talking
yeah,
about?
like where they're
you
like
ram into
gerbil.
each other.
Yeah.
You start on first and third and then run at each other, and that's got to hurt, right?
I mean, that's a lot of air cushion, I feel like. Maybe it hurts your head because some of those are pretty aggressive hits, maybe some whiplash or something. I'm not worried about it, though. It'd be
No?
you. Yeah.
Okay.
You'd be the one getting hurt.
Marcoux looks at strike one. Chopped on the first base line. That might do it. Sakopoulos. Did he tag him? He did. And that will be the ball game. A weird ending to this contest here today. Ryan Kotke and Schellenberger kind of looking for an explanation there.
Yeah, not quite sure. I thought it looks like Sakopoulos fielded it in foul territory. I don't know if he got the tag on. That's pretty close looking at it on the YouTube replay.
Now Ryan Kotke is going to go out to argue here. Umpires are going to come together and discuss, but it looks like it will call his stands. Now Kotke going over to talk to Schellenberger over at first, but a frustrating end to the Hoppers' night here today. Unicorns able to hang on in what was a bat-bashing type of day. 9-6 your final score. Back with the Detroit Mercy postgame show when we get back here on the USPBL Network.
If I hit a home run, then you know what's going out of the park. Yeah, bases loaded, we ain't letting up. Scoring back to back, you can count it up. United we stand together, divided we fall. Ain't no turning back, we done came too far to turn around and have a seat now. We don't compare, cause we unicorn. Illuminate the dark with my uniform. Every time you see me stand up and salute me. If I hit a home run, then you know what's going out of the park. Yeah, bases loaded, we ain't letting up. Scoring back to back, you can count it up. United we stand together, divided we fall. Ain't no turning back, we done came too far to turn around and have a seat now. We don't compare, cause we're unicorns. Illuminate the dark with my uniform. Every time you see me, stand up and salute me. It ain't no competition, not even from you.
Slide into a new home. Work with a local mortgage pro who works for you. Get a cheaper, faster, easier home loan. Find a mortgage broker near you today at findamortgagebroker.com.
Why are all these business owners smiling? Because they rely on Tryon to handle difficult and time-consuming HR tasks like payroll, benefits administration, and more. Working with one of the nation's top professional employer organizations provides access to top-tier healthcare and employee benefit plans and Tryon's team of attorneys and HR experts. With Tryon, you don't have to grow it alone. Visit RelyOnTryon.com.
You can always rely on Tryon.
The Unicorns pick up a win over the Hoppers. 9-6 is your final here on a Thursday night from the USPBL. Some interesting numbers that kind of go along with this game. Let's take a look at the Hoppers first. 11 hits for them. They out-hit the Unicorns. Just 10 for the Unicorns. Obviously, take into account that the Hoppers got one more time through the order in the 8th. The Unicorns did not hit in the bottom. But 11-10 the hits, and then the Hoppers left 12 men on base today. They left a man on base in every single inning, at least one, through 8 innings. Bunch of extra base hits for the Hoppers as well. Pup had two extra base hits and a single. He was a home run shy of the cycle today, and you add in a walk as well in 5 at-bats. He had a very good day. Led things off with a double, and then Blake Porter followed with a double and an error that acts as a triple, which was obviously an RBI. Yadi Rivera, right after him in the first inning, had an RBI double. So the Hoppers got things started early, but the Unicorns responded quickly in the bottom of the first with 3 runs of their own. Hits coming from Galassi, Attilis, and Bolin. Bolin had 2 RBIs on his single to left field on the ground that scored both Galassi and Attilis. Childress would score as well after walking. Then in the second, nothing for the Hoppers. The Unicorns continued their offensive prowess with more hits again from Galassi, Sakopoulos, Childress, Castro, and Hodo reached on an error and scored in that inning. Both teams would get one in the third. The one for the Hoppers was the big fly from Joe Burke, one of just 2 home runs that we saw today, both home runs from the Hoppers. Burke, a guy who was struggling lately, hammered a ball to left center field on a line, 94 miles an hour off the bat for a solo shot to bring the Hoppers within 2 runs. It stayed at 6-4, only for a moment when the Unicorns, would score their 7th run in the third. And then it was 7-4 for a while, scoreless 4th and 5th innings. Christian Fedko got things started with his first professional home run off the Chevy Pavilion back in the 6th, an absolute bomb. The Hoppers would get one more in the 7th. Kreitzer would walk and score on an RBI double from none other than Christian Fedgo. Good 2-hit day for him, 2 RBIs. But that's all the Hoppers would do. The Unicorns got 2 in the 6th. Big inning, no hits for the Unicorns in that 6th, but Galassi reached on a drop third strike. Sakopoulos reached on a walk, and then an error let Castro get on. And Sakopoulos and Galassi would both come around to score. Those would be the winning runs. That's your final 9-6. Andrew Verbrugge, your starter for the Hoppers, goes 5 innings, gives up 7 runs on 9 hits, 4 strikeouts and 3 walks. On the other side, Keon Taylor got his first professional start. 3 innings for him, 4 runs on 5 hits, 2 strikeouts, and a walk. We'll send it down to Jeremy with our player of the game on the Detroit Mercy postgame show.
Nice 9-6 win for the Unicorns here tonight, kind of hanging on in what was a slugfest here today. Back down at field level with Luis Attilis. Nice game for you here today, a double, a solid game at shortstop as well. I know we've talked about it, kind of off the air and what you've done to get back to your routine, but what's made it, a hot stretch for you, you think?
Honestly, it's just sticking to my approach, day in and day out, practicing what I have to make adjustments to, and it's obviously, thank God, it's paying off in the right way, and with a great bunch of guys, obviously, that clicks together and everything could come around anytime.
Talk about the bat you use in BP. I forget the name of it, but
so it's called a camwood bat. Usually it's a hand speed camwood bat. Helps me to stay connected a little bit through the zone. Obviously, it's a little bit more heavier towards the hand, so anything you disconnect from your body, it's gonna give you instant feedback right away off the gate. Yeah. So for me, to use that as a drill and in BP is significant, just because it just cleans my path and obviously cleans my swing to good results.
A pretty good slugfest here today overall between these two teams. It's always nice to get a victory in a game like this.
Honestly, this team, the Unicorns, are always hot. That 1 through lineup, even the guys on the bench, can obviously smack the ball around in any way you can. And with the great chemistry that we all have and always having fun, it obviously translates into the win and being the first team that we are today.
Talk about that Drew Galassi catch in center field, that ball that Joe Burke smoked.
Honestly, that was a ball that anything in the outfield, I know Drew is going to work his butt off and get that ball for us and risk his body out there. And obviously, I knew Drew was going to make that catch and bring us in.
You talk about the lineup, it's settled in quite nicely, where guys are placed. At what point do you think, that you guys kind of figure that out?
Honestly, I feel like we're so coachable and we make adjustments that I feel like anybody could hit in the lineup anywhere possible. And obviously starts as good hitters that we are and sticking to our approach no matter where we are in the lineup. And I feel like obviously it shows out and obviously we're getting good results out of it. God bless.
Well, nice win here today. Good luck going forward.
Thank you. Appreciate you, man. Take care.
Luis Attilis, player of the game here today on the USPBL Network. 9-6 win for his team here today. We're back on the air tomorrow. The Hoppers will have to kind of shake this loss off and try to do it again versus the Beavers. First pitch at 7:05. We're on the air for the pregame show at 6:45. For my partner, Brendan Shabath, and our whole crew here today, I'm Jeremy Otto. We'll see you tomorrow.